Chapter 1849. Zhao Yun was almost disgusted. This B***TCH actually blamed her. Back then, if it weren't for Liang Jinxiao's face that they were sisters born from the same mother, she would have killed Zhao Ping long ago. How could she let Zhao Ping jump around in front of her for so long? It was a pity that Zhao Ping herself did not realize at all what she was doing time and time again. She was purposely going against her. It was the first time she met such a woman who specialized in trapping her own family. Big sister Ping, can you speak with some conscience? Every time you didn't pick on me, how did I treat you? Zhao Yun replied unhappily. Zhao Ping glared at Zhao Yun and replied indignantly, I'll touch my conscience and say that it was you who didn't treat me well. You didn't treat me as an elder sister at all. Zhao Yun sneered, then started to calculate with Zhao Ping Big sister Ping, I want to know where your conscience went. Was it eaten by a dog? Back then, if it weren't for me forking out so much money to let you have a generous dowry, you wouldn't be married off at home right now, right? Although what Zhao Yun said was the truth, Zhao Ping did not want to admit it. Zhao Yun who said that? Why wouldn't I be married off without your money? Big brother Yuan is still willing to marry me. Big brother Yuan, don't you think so? Zhao Ping tugged at Qin Yuan's sleeve aggrievedly. Qin Yuan's mouth twitched, and he did not want to speak. This woman Zhao Ping, if it weren't for his parents eyeing her dowry and persuading him, how could he possibly marry Zhao Ping, He was not blind to marry such an ugly woman. Because of Zhao Ping's ugliness, many people in the village laughed at him. Now, he only wanted to make money, a lot of money. It would be best if he could get Zhao Xinhui back. Even if he couldn't marry Zhao Xinhui, he could marry a woman as beautiful as Zhao Xinhui. As for Zhao Ping, when he had the money, he would send her away. Anyway, he really couldn't stand such an ugly woman. Seeing that Qin Yuan did not say anything, Zhao Ping was a little unhappy and continued to push Qin Yuan. Big brother Yuan, why aren't you saying anything? Zhao Yun sneered and said, I say, sister Pinger, how can you still not know your place? With your looks, which normal man would be willing to marry you? If it weren't for Qin Yuan, I'm afraid you wouldn't be able to get married in this lifetime. Zhao Yun's merciless humiliation made Zhao Ping exceptionally angry. Zhao Ping was so angry that her face turned red. She rushed in front of Zhao Yun and stretched out her claws, wanting to scratch Zhao Yun's face. However, before she could get close to Zhao Yun, she was kicked heavily by Zhao Yun. Zhao Ping flew out all of a sudden, smashing the tables and chairs at the side. Zhao Ping lay on the ground and cried out in pain. She was still unwilling to give up and scolded Zhao Yun. It hurts so much. Big brother Yuan, quickly come and help me up. It hurts so much. Zhao Ping's pleading gaze landed on Qin Yuan at the side. Qin Yuan looked at Zhao Ping speechlessly. This woman was really so stupid. Since she didn't have the ability, why did she have to go and provoke Zhao Yun? Now that she was beaten to the ground, she had to trouble him again. Big brother Yuan. Zhao Ping looked at Qin Yuan pitifully again. Qin Yuan was willing to greet her. Chapter 1850. After letting out a sigh, Qin Yuan walked towards Zhao Ping and pulled Zhao Ping up from the ground. Big brother Yuan, it hurts. It really hurts. Zhao Ping said as she fell into Qin Yuan's arms. It was unknown if she was pretending to be weak or if she really could not support her body because of the pain. When Qin Yuan saw Zhao Ping coming over, he frowned in disgust and pushed Zhao Ping away. Why do you have to come so close? Qin Yuan grumbled unhappily. Zhao Ping said aggrievedly, Big brother Yuan, I really can't stand anymore. Just give me a hand. Qin Yuan snorted coldly. There was a hint of disdain in his tone as he said, How can I help you? You're so heavy. Zhao Ping was hurt by Qin Yuan's words. She looked at her own body. It was true that she had gained some weight. However, she had gained weight during this period of time because she was pregnant. Coupled with the fact that she ate and drank well every day, it was difficult for her not to gain weight. Big brother Yuan. I'm your wife. Don't you feel sorry for me? Qin Yuan rolled his eyes and said, can't you see that my body is so weak? You still need me to help you up. Why don't I see you feeling sorry for me? Zhao Ping pursed her lips. She knew better than to continue arguing with Qin Yuan. After all, she still had her greatest enemy now, and that was Zhao Yun. Even if she had the time and energy, she would argue with Zhao Yun instead of Qin Yuan. Zhao Ping rubbed her butt and continued to cry out in pain. She then said to Qin Yuan, Big brother Yuan, Zhao Yun is really too much. She kicked me so hard. Isn't she afraid that the child in my stomach will be gone? Big brother Yuan, I'm carrying your child in my stomach. You have to find Zhao Yun to take revenge for me and teach Zhao Yun a lesson. Qin Yuan glanced at Zhao Ping indifferently. He felt that this woman liked to push him into the fire pit. It wasn't like he didn't know Zhao Yun's skills. Even if he was a man, compared to Zhao Yun he couldn't beat Zhao Yun Zhao Ping had asked him to smash an egg against a rock. Wasn't he obviously asking for trouble? You didn't get rid of the child. Besides, how am I a match for Zhao Yun? Don't harm me. Do you wish for me to be taught a lesson by Zhao Yun like you? Zhao Ping saw that she couldn't count on Qin Yuan. She glanced at Zhao Yun unwillingly and warned her angrily, Zhao Yun, don't go overboard. Don't you know in your heart who's going overboard? You. Humph. I won't argue with you. Anyway, I'm telling you that it's useless even if you're jealous of me. I won't give you a share of the money that I earned with my own abilities. Don't come looking for trouble in front of me and have ideas about the money in my hands. Now that I know the recipe for making pigs offal, it's different from making breakfast. Zhao Ping said and raised her chin arrogantly. Zhao Yun sneered. Then I hope that big sister Ping's business will get better and better. After saying this, Zhao Yun drove Xiao Mao away. She had to get busy when she got back. She didn't want to waste time on Zhao Ping, nor did she want to be angered by that stupid woman. She had taught her a lesson by teaching her a lesson. However, just as Zhao Ping said, Zhao Ping already knew the recipe for making pigs offal. It wouldn't be easy for her to stop her. She couldn't go out on the streets and ask people to judge, right? No one would listen to her. Chapter 1851. Even after Zhao Yun's figure disappeared into the distance, Zhao Ping was still immersed in her anger and couldn't respond. Originally, it was a happy thing to make money happily. In the end, Zhao Yun came to her door and made a fuss. Her original joy was thrown to the back of her mind, and a kind of worry attacked her heart. Ma Xiaofeng knew Zhao Yun's methods very well. She was very clear that Zhao Yun was not someone to be trifled with. Thinking of the words Zhao Yun said before she left, Ma Xiaofeng was even more worried. If Zhao Yun did something and ruined the breakfast stall's business, then how could she make a living in the future? Anyway, she couldn't think of any other way to make money now. If she didn't sell breakfast, she would have to rely on selling pig offal. It wasn't easy to come back from the dead. This pig offal also relied on Zhao Yun. Fortunately, she had asked Zhao Ping to learn more at that time. Otherwise, how would she know how to make it? How could she make money now? Ma Xiaofeng's worry was written on her face. She sighed and said to Zhao Ping, sister, what should we do now? If Sister Yun does something, our stall can't continue. Zhao Ping said angrily, she'll do it. Who does she think she is? She can't cover the sky with one hand. We set up a stall to make money and do proper things. What can she do to us? Ma Xiaofeng continued to look and said angrily, Sister Yun, I think Sister Yun, is angry. Sister Ping, we can't win against her even once. Why don't we say a few good words? Maybe Sister Yun won't make things difficult for us. Don't say anything nice to him. Xiao Feng, it's useless for me to tell you that. She just can't bear to see me earning money and living a good life. I don't know what that bitch is thinking. But Ping, sis. I feel a little uneasy. It's not easy for us to earn some money through this. What if we can't earn it for long? That won't happen, Xiao Feng. Zhao Ping, patted Ma Xiaofeng's shoulder and comforted her. Zhao Yun is not omnipotent and can do anything. This time, I don't believe that she can deal with us. Seeing Zhao Ping's attitude, Ma Xiaofeng was too lazy to say anything more. She sighed and secretly prayed that nothing bad would happen. Zhao Yun'er and Li Chuiying drove Xiaomao back to Shuilan village. The car went directly to old Zhao's house. After all, it was the second branch's wedding. Old Zhao's house was very lively, and Hu Chunhua was in a rare good mood. The reason why his face was not as gloomy as usual was that Hu Chunhua received a lot of good things from young Master Zheng. Moreover, Zhao Jing was going to marry into a rich family. Later on, Zhao Jing might give birth to a fat son and establish a foothold in a rich family. In the future, he could get other benefits from Zhao Jing. Hu Chunhua naturally put on a good face for people who had a rich future. The banquet was held at old Zhao's house. The other branches were all there, and they took the initiative to help where they could. Originally, Feng Zhangxia was not a very enthusiastic person, but this time, she also took the initiative to help. Thinking that in a few days, her family's Jianghu would also be holding a wedding. If she helped the second branch now, Li Chuiying would definitely help her later. If there were too many things to do, it would be impossible to handle without a few people. Zhao Yun'er had to prepare some of the dishes early in the afternoon, just like when her family held the banquet. Chapter 1852. The afternoon passed by quickly. Zhao Yun had already finished preparing the dishes in the kitchen. However, the wok in the kitchen was too small. It was possible for the family to make do with cooking, but it was impossible to cook too many dishes. Zhao Yun'er then discussed with Li Chuiying, second aunt, you go and ask Grandma. Ask her if she can borrow her kitchen when she cooks tomorrow. Li Chuiying asked in confusion, Yun'er, what's wrong? Is my kitchen not good enough? Zhao Yun shook her head, it's not very good. The wok in the kitchen is too small. You can't cook many dishes in one wok. It's more convenient to cook with a bigger wok. Li Chuiying agreed, okay, I'll go talk to your grandmother now. It shouldn't be a problem to borrow a wok. After all, your grandmother won't be able to use the kitchen for the banquet tomorrow. Okay. Zhao Yun thought that it shouldn't be a problem. However, when Li Chuiying went to ask, he saw Hu Chunhua's shameless side. Second daughter-in-law, I can lend you the kitchen, but it's a joyous occasion after all. You should at least give me a red packet. You can't use the kitchen for free, right? Li Chuiying asked nervously, Mother, how much should I give you? Hu Chunhua rolled her eyes and said, It said that everything goes smoothly. I think you should give me 6 taels of silver. Li Chuiying originally thought that if it didn't cost much, she could accept it. However, after hearing Hu Chunhua say 6 taels of silver, Li Chuiying couldn't remain calm. 6 taels of silver wasn't a small amount. It was enough to buy a mu of land. It was just borrowing the kitchen. How could it cost so much? Zhao Yun stretched her ears to listen and secretly cursed Hu Chunhua for being too shameless. It was as if he had fallen into a money pit, thinking about money all day long. He did not know why Hu Chunhua wanted so much money. He wouldn't be able to live for many years, so he couldn't possibly bring the money he had saved up to his grave, right? Li Chuiying awkwardly tugged at the corner of his mouth and said, Mother, isn't 6 taels of silver a bit too much? When Hu Chunhua heard this, she was very unhappy and replied, How is 6 taels of silver too much? Second daughter-in-law, young Master Zheng has sent a lot of money as betrothal gifts, right? You're so tight on 6 taels of silver, Isn't it because you don't want to be filial to me? Li Chuiying quickly shook his head. Mother, that's not what I meant. Although young Master Jing did send a lot of betrothal gifts over, his family still had to live on in the future. She was going to send her son, Tianyu, to school. Only when he went to school could he be successful. Otherwise, he could only stay in the countryside for the rest of his life. However, going to school was not a small expense. Over the years, old Zhao's family had spent a lot of money to support Zhao Tianlong. In addition, she was going to buy more land. Relying on the land at home, the amount of food they could grow each year was only enough to eat. It was almost impossible to save money. In the future, if she wanted to be prosperous and build a new house like her second sister-in-law and third sister-in-law's family, she had to plan more and earn more money each year. Hu Chunhua glared at Li Chuiying and continued to scold him. If that's not what you meant, then what do you mean? Second daughter-in-law, now that you're so stingy with money and unwilling to be filial to your in-laws, you won't be able to covet the things in your hands in the future. Chapter 1853. Last time, Hu Chunhua had no choice but to make some food for the second branch. Now, Hu Chunhua liked to talk about it. Mother, we didn't eat much, it was just a few meals. How could it be worth 6 taels? Wasn't this clearly cheating her? Hu Chunhua put her hands on her hips and raised her head. Second daughter-in-law, I'm telling you, if you don't give me 6 taels of silver in a red packet, I won't lend you the kitchen. Li Chuiying looked embarrassed. She had no choice but to lend the kitchen. If she did, she would have to fork out 6 taels of silver. She was reluctant to do so. Seeing this, Zhao Yun stepped forward and said sarcastically, Grandmother, I think your family's pot is made of gold. You have to give me 6 taels of silver to borrow it. If you want to rob me, just say it. Hu Chunhua felt a headache coming on when she saw Zhao Yun. This little B***tch was actually strolling in front of her again, picking on her and finding fault with her. Thus, she glared at Zhao Yun, and said, You B***tch, what are you talking about? What does my business have to do with you? Zhao Yun laughed. It really has nothing to do with me, but I just don't like some people. What are you talking about? Do you still see me as your elder? Don't call yourself an elder. You don't have any respect for your elders. Don't you know what you're doing? It's a happy occasion at home, and you need 6 taels of silver in a red packet to borrow the kitchen. Only a fool would give you the money. After Zhao Yun finished mocking Hu Chunhua, she tugged at Li Chuiying's hand and said, Second aunt, I think we should forget about it. We don't need to borrow the kitchen. Li Chuiying frowned and asked with a conflicted expression, Yun, can we not lend it to you? Didn't you say that the pot is too small? Zhao Yun smiled. The pot is indeed small, but it's okay. I'll ask my father to take the pot from my house and put it on your stove tomorrow. Li Chuiying nodded and said, Okay, Yunner girl, I'll listen to you. If you say so. Yes. She felt that it was not worth it to let Hu Chunhua get 6 taels of silver for a kitchen. It wasn't easy for the second branch to protect that little bit of money. There would be many places where they would have to spend money in the future. Hu Chunhua was dissatisfied with Zhao Yunner when she saw that her source of income was cut off because of Zhao Yunner. Unfortunately, she couldn't deal with Zhao Yunner. Every time she fought with Zhao Yunner, she suffered. No matter how unhappy she was, she could only weakly suppress it in her heart. Hu Chunhua was so angry that she didn't want to look at Zhao Yun anymore. She turned around and went into the room. Ai. Li Chuiying shook her head helplessly. Unfortunately, Hu Chunhua was her mother-in-law. She couldn't do anything about it. Feng Zhangxia was also dissatisfied with Hu Chunhua. Li Chuiying asked Hu Chunhua to give her a red packet of 6 taels of silver this time. If she went to borrow money later, wouldn't Hu Chunhua also ask her to give her a red packet of 6 taels of silver? Her family didn't have that much money. Even if they did, they wouldn't waste the money to give her 6 taels of silver for a kitchen. When Zhao Yunner and Li Chuiying came over, Hu Chunhua leaned in front of Li Chuiying and complained, second sister-in-law, mother is so stingy. Isn't it just a kitchen? How big of a deal is it? She still wants to get money from you. How can a mother be like this? Li Chuiying said helplessly, what should we do with eldest sister-in-law? We can't fight with mother. What mother says is the truth. Chapter 1854. When Feng Zhangxia said this, she glanced at Zhao Yuner and then said seemingly unintentionally, Yuner girl, can you lend your family's pot to eldest aunt later? Otherwise, you won't be able to cook with my family's pot. Zhao Yuner responded faintly. Why did she feel uncomfortable when she heard Feng Zhangxia's words? She always felt that this woman was scheming something and was thinking about someone else. Although it wasn't a big deal to use a pot as an excuse, it felt a little different when it came from Feng Zhangxia's mouth. Seeing that Zhao Yuner agreed, Feng Zhangxia's worries were erased and she continued to chat with Zhao Yuner and Li Chuiying. After a while, Feng Zhangxia looked at Zhao Yuner with some embarrassment and asked, Yuner girl, will your family's donkey still be used in 2 days? How about you lend it to my family again? Your second cousin brother needs to buy a wedding house. In a few days, I want to go to town to buy some things. Zhao Yuner unhappily replied, eldest aunt, why do you always want to borrow other people's things? Can't you just take the ox cart to buy some things? Do you have to like my family's xiaomao to be happy? Feng Zhangxia said very awkwardly to Zhao Yuner and weakly explained, Yuner girl. Isn't it too troublesome to take the ox cart? When the time comes, there will be a lot of things to buy and moving around. It's really inconvenient. Of course, you can use your family's xiaomao to directly pull it to the courtyard. Zhao Yuner didn't believe Feng Zhangxia's nonsense. She just wanted to use her family's xiaomao for free. It was really unbearable to take advantage of her time and time again. You can borrow it, but the rules are the same as before. Eldest aunt, you have to pay. A round trip is 50 copper coins. If you don't want to do it, you can charter your own ox cart. Feng Zhangxia calculated. It would be 60 copper coins to charter an ox cart for a round trip. It was definitely more cost-effective to borrow xiaomao. It was good to save even 1 copper coin. Feng Zhangxia was still somewhat unreconciled. I say, Yuner girl, I heard that His Majesty bestowed you with a lot of gold, silver and jewels. You said you're different from before. You're already so rich, why are you still thinking about my 50 copper coins? Why don't we just forget about it? Zhao Yuner sneered, Auntie, what are you talking about? Who doesn't like having more money? In the past, I was afraid of being poor, so now I feel that even a penny is good. Feng Zhangxia shut her mouth resentfully. So be it if he had to spend 50 copper coins. There were a lot of things to buy, so it was impossible for him to take an ox cart. Zhao Yuner and the others continued to work and only finished when it was close to evening. After that, the whole family went back for dinner. The next morning, they had to wake up early, so Zhao Yuner went to bed early. Mu Lianfeng took care of Tian for the whole day. It was undeniable that Mu Lianfeng was becoming more and more like a super stay-at-home dad. He was a grown man, but he took good care of the child. Of course, Tian was well-behaved and obedient. She didn't know if it was because she had experienced too much since she was a child, but she was already very sensible when she was only 1 or 2 months old. When she came back in the evening, Zhao Yuner felt her heart settle down when she saw Tiantian's tender face and smelled the milky fragrance on Tiantian's body. She didn't know if it was because she was tired from the day, but Zhao Yuner quickly fell asleep. The next morning, Zhao Yuner climbed out of bed before the sun shone into the room. Chapter 1855. Fortunately, she had Liang Jinxiao, Feng Zhangxia, and Qian Zhuzhao to take care of the chores. The 3 sisters-in-law were able to do a lot of chores. With the help of other people, although it was busy, it was not unbearably busy. After all, it was Li Chuiying's big day, and Li Chuiying was marrying off her daughter. Zhao Yun did not let Li Chuiying help. Li Chuiying was a little embarrassed and threw the chores at home to other people. She was very reluctant to let her daughter get married, so she tried her best to spend as much time with her daughter as possible. In 2 or 4 hours, young Master Zhang's wedding procession would probably arrive. After the procession, her daughter would belong to someone else's family. No matter how much she missed her, she would not like her daughter more than a few times a year. Liang Jinxiao could understand Li Chuiying's current state of mind the most. When Zhao Ping got married, she was very sad. Although Zhao Ping was not a good daughter and often angered her, she was still her own daughter. When she got married and found out that she belonged to someone else's family, she was very reluctant to let her daughter go. Third sister-in-law, it's not like you're marrying off your daughter. Why do you look so reluctant? Feng Zhangxia saw Liang Jinxiao's reaction and could not help but tease her. Liang Jinxiao smiled and said, I just thought that when my Ping got married, I also felt a little sad. I guess second sister-in-law feels the same way now. Sister-in-law, you didn't give birth to a daughter, so you don't understand that feeling. Feng Zhangxia continued to smile and said, Third sister-in-law, look at what you're saying. What's so sad about Ping getting married? It's a good thing that such an ugly daughter can get married. Don't tell me you still want her to stay in our old Zhao family for the rest of her life? Liang Jinxiao's mouth twitched. Sister-in-law, you can't say that. Although I was looking forward to Ping getting married at that time, I raised her up. But after raising her for so long, Ping got married, so I still feel a little sad. Feng Zhangxia chuckled and said, Third sister-in-law, you feel uncomfortable when Ping gets married. If Yuner also gets married one day, won't you be even more reluctant to part with her? Speaking of this, Liang Jinxiao's gaze fell on Zhao Yun, who was sitting at the side. Her sister-in-law was right. Zhao Yuner was the child she was most satisfied with. Not to mention waiting until the day of her marriage, just thinking about it made her feel a little sad. However, the emperor's imperial edict had been issued. As long as Mu Lianfeng wanted to hold the wedding, he could hold it at any time. The things that the emperor bestowed were Zhao Yun's dowry. When the time came for her to get married, it would be a grand wedding. Look, third sister-in-law, I'm just saying that I'm going, but you really feel sad. Feng Zhangxia covered her mouth and laughed. Liang Jinxiao sighed. Of course I feel sad. Sister-in-law, if you have a daughter, you will understand. I don't have third sister-in-law. You are blessed with a son and a daughter. You also have a promising daughter like Yuner. Speaking of Yuner, third sister-in-law, Yuner and Lord Shitzi have been together for so long. When will they get married? Liang Jinxiao shook his head. I don't know. I have to ask Yuner. Feng Zhangxia's gaze fell on Zhao Yuner. She pretended to be concerned and asked Zhao Yuner, Yuner, your marriage with Lord Shitzi should be held soon, right? It's not a good thing to drag it on. The sooner it's done, the sooner our old Zhao family can benefit from it and become Lord Shitzi's in-laws. Chapter 1856. Zhao Yun's attitude made Feng Zhangxia a little unhappy, and she said with a sour tone, I say, Yuner girl, could it be that Shitzi doesn't intend to marry you? If this man really wants to marry a woman, he doesn't need to drag it out for so long, right? Zhao Yuner rolled her eyes at Feng Zhangxia, eldest aunt, don't worry about it. You can't change anything with just a few words. Shitzi and I have already been married by the emperor. Unless Shitzi wants to die, he won't have the guts to not marry me. Only then did Feng Zhangxia shut her mouth. She had also heard that the emperor had bestowed Zhao Yuner with so many things, and she was extremely envious. Unfortunately, in this lifetime, it would be difficult for her to reach the height of Zhao Yuner's family. The only one she could rely on was her family's Tianlong. When her Tianlong passed the imperial examinations, he would be able to become an official and lead the first branch to live a good life. Although he wouldn't be as rich as Shitzi's family, he would still be able to live a prosperous life. The few of them continued to busy themselves, and the sound of cooking came from the kitchen. At around 10 o'clock in the morning, young Master Zheng came to pick them up. However, very few people came, only 2 sedan bearers and young Master Zheng. Young Master Zheng sat on the horse, and didn't even wear his wedding clothes. It seemed that he didn't care much about this marriage. However, it was understandable. After all, Zhao Jin was only marrying over as a concubine, and not as a legal wife. Naturally, they wouldn't care too much about it. However, in the eyes of others, it had a different meaning, and they treated Zhao Jin as a joke. Look, this old Zhao's family is marrying off their daughter as a concubine, and they don't even like her. Only these few people came, You expect a concubine to be liked? She's not presentable in the first place. Don't tell me you expect them to muster so many people to come and pick her up. That's true. It seems that she has to be a legal wife when she marries. At least she can be presentable, but a concubine is still not enough. Many people in the village mocked old Zhao's family. Other than feeling that it was indeed too shabby, the most important thing was that she was too jealous of old Zhao's family. During this period of time, all the happy events in the village were occupied by old Zhao's family. His daughter was getting married, and there was also a banquet for building a house. Which banquet wasn't a good thing? There were 2 girls in old Zhao's family, one was Zhao Xinhui, and the other was Zhao Jing. Although they were both concubines, at least they had married into rich families. In the future, they wouldn't have to worry about food and drink. This was something that many people couldn't hope for. The fact that young Master Zheng came over so easily was somewhat beyond the expectations of old Zhao's family. Zhao Baoshan and Zhao Wenshui's expressions were somewhat unsightly. Especially when he heard the villagers' words, he was so angry that he trembled. Unfortunately, they couldn't blame young Master Zheng. They already knew that Zhao Jing'er was going to be a concubine, so they couldn't ask for too much. Otherwise, they would offend young Master Zheng. Seeing that the bridal escort had come over, Zhao Xinhui and Hu Chunhua, who were originally in the room, came out to take a look. Seeing those people come over, Hu Chunhua said with some displeasure, "What does this young Master Zheng mean? Aren't these people deliberately embarrassing our old Zhao's family?" Zhao Xinhui replied indifferently, "Mother, Jing is just going to be a concubine. It's good enough that they brought a bridal sedan chair. What else do you want them to do?" Chapter 1857. Hu Chunhua thought back and felt proud. Back then, her daughter's marriage was a rare event in several villages. So many people envied her. Her daughter had married a rich man and even married in such a grand manner. Thinking about her current life, if her daughter hadn't married well, how could she be so carefree? In this day and age, one had to be rich. Without money, everything was useless. Zhao Xinhui snorted and said, "Mother, can Jing compare to me? My husband dotes on me very much. Jing is only marrying him to give birth to children." Hu Chunhua nodded in agreement and said, "That's true. Jing can't compare to you. My Hui can't compare to anyone." Zhao Xinhui curled her lips, "Of course. So mother, don't blame young Master Zheng. It's already good enough that he can get a sedan chair. Do you really expect him to come up with something? Many concubines directly enter the manor without any arrangements at all." Yes. Hui, you're right." Hu Chunhua giggled in agreement. As if suddenly thinking of something, Hu Chunhua leaned in front of Zhao Xinhui and asked, "Hui, you've been at home for a while. Why hasn't young Master Huang sent anyone to pick you up?" Zhao Xinhui's expression immediately became displeased at the mention of this topic. "How would I know? I also want to ask. Mother, do you dislike me and think that I've been at home for too long and want to chase me away?" Hu Chunhua hurriedly smiled and said, "Hui, don't be angry. Who wants to chase you away? Mother didn't mean it that way. I just feel that our life at home definitely can't compare to young Master Huang's manor. If you go back early, you can enjoy life earlier, right? Compared to the Huang manor, life in the countryside is like heaven and earth, right?" Zhao Xinhui nodded when she heard this. Her mother was right on this point. Life in the Huang Manor was simply too happy. Every day, there would be someone to serve her for everything. Not only that, but she could also eat and drink well. The food and desserts in the Huang residence were all prepared by special chefs. How could the countryside compare? Zhao Xinhui wanted to return to the Huang mansion more and more when he thought of the enjoyment he enjoyed during that period of time. She wanted to go back as soon as possible, but the strange thing was that young Master Huang still hadn't come to pick her up. Her husband obviously doted on her so much. Could it be that he didn't miss her after being separated for such a long time? Her husband hadn't settled the troubles at home yet. If this continued, how long would she have to wait? If she continued to stay at home, she would probably be bored to death. She didn't think so in the past, but after enjoying a rich life, she couldn't bear to live in poverty again. Mother, aren't you talking nonsense? How can our family compare to the Huang estate? Zhao Xinhui retorted angrily. Hua Chunhua smiled embarrassedly again. You can't keep waiting like this. In Mother's opinion, you should take the initiative to ask young Master Huang. She had mentioned this matter the last time, but Zhao Xinhui didn't take it to heart and didn't go to Yang City to look for young Master Huang. Now that she mentioned it again, she hoped that Zhao Xinhui would listen to her. Although she was old, she still understood some things. Chapter 1858. With young Master Huang's status, he was considered a respectable figure. Because he was rich, he could find any woman he wanted. Without young Master Huang, her daughter couldn't live with her for the rest of her life. She could only live a good life with young Master Huang. Mother, I know. Zhao Xinhui replied impatiently. Hua Chunhua didn't dare to say more, for fear of making Zhao Xinhui unhappy. Zhao Yun, and the other three sisters-in-law of old Zhao's family all stopped what they were doing and watched young Master Zheng receive the bride. Seeing such a shabby wedding procession, Zhao Yun, couldn't help but feel sad for Zhao Jing'er. She was different from others. Regardless of whether she was rich or poor, she hoped that the man she lived with for the rest of her life would be loyal to her. In other words, she would only accept one wife and one husband. She wouldn't share a man with another woman. Zhao Jing'er was obviously disliked as a concubine. She was just a tool to give birth to children. She didn't know how much she would suffer in the future. Unfortunately, everyone chose their own path. They should consider the consequences before making a choice. No matter how painful it was, they had to bear it until the end. As for her wedding with Mu Lianfeng, she could postpone it, but it had to be grand. She had to let everyone know that she was Mu Lianfeng's wife. Other women couldn't covet her man. The groom is here, the groom is here. Bride, get ready to come out of the room, someone shouted. After a while, Li Chuiying helped Zhao Jing'er out of the room. Seeing that her daughter was really getting married this time, Li Chuiying wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes. The tears that she couldn't hold back suddenly gushed out. After hearing Li Chuiying's crying, Zhao Jing'er tugged at Li Chuiying's hand. Mother, don't cry. I'll try to come back to see you often. Yes, second brother's wife, don't cry. Today is a joyous day. It's bad luck to cry. Zhao Baoshan comforted her. You're still so reluctant to let your daughter get married. What's there to be reluctant about? My daughter will have a good life after she marries him. Zhao Wenshui muttered beside Li Chuiying, without the slightest reluctance of a father. In Zhao Wenshui's opinion, they would only be able to live a good life if Zhao Jing'er really married into young Master Zheng's family. Zhao Wenshui hoped that Zhao Jing would send more good things back to her parents' home. That way, he wouldn't have to move his hands or feet. He wouldn't even have to farm, but he would still have good wine to drink and meat to eat. How comfortable would that be? Li Chuiying glared at Zhao Wenshui with dissatisfaction. He felt that Zhao Wenshui was heartless. His daughter would belong to another family after she got married. How could she say something like that? Although she was angry, she couldn't quarrel with Zhao Wenshui on such a joyous day. She just silently kept this matter in her heart and would slowly settle old scores with Zhao Wenshui in the future. Okay, don't dawdle. Young Master Zhang is here to pick her up. Second brother's wife, let Jing go. Zhao Baoshan urged. Now that young Master Zhang had only brought so few people over, the longer they stayed, the more people would see them. Old Zhao's family would become a bigger joke. Li Chunying answered weakly. She held Zhao Jing's hand reluctantly and said, Jing, no matter how much I miss you, you're going to get married. Chapter 1859. Zhao Jing'er replied in a choked voice, Mother, I know. You and father have to take good care of yourselves. Zhao Wenshui smiled and said, Don't worry, Jing'er. Just marry well. If father and mother run out of money, we'll ask you for it. After Zhao Wenshui said that, Li Chuiying couldn't help but stomp on Zhao Wenshui's foot. My daughter is getting married. What are you talking about? Zhao Wenshui also replied unwillingly, What am I talking about? Am I not telling the truth? I just want Jing'er to know that she has to save money when she marries into a rich family, just like her aunt. Look at how comfortable Jing'er's grandparents are living. It's all thanks to her aunt. Li Chuiying was so angry at Zhao Wenshui that he couldn't speak. He was a lazy man who didn't know how to go out and earn money. As a man, he didn't have the responsibility that a man should have. He actually hoped to get money from his daughter to enjoy life. His conscience had been eaten by a dog. Father, you don't have to tell me. I know that I won't let mother live a hard life. Zhao Jing'er replied in a somewhat cold voice. She was also a bit disappointed by Zhao Wenshui's words, but only towards Zhao Wenshui. When she married into young Master Zhao's family and really had money in hand, he would let her mother live a good life. She wouldn't care how her father lived. Zhao Wenshui replied with gratification, Jing'er, you really are father's good daughter. Whether or not father can live a good life for the rest of his life depends on you. Li Chuiying secretly scolded Zhao Wenshui for being shameless, but he was afraid that saying it in front of Zhao Jing'er would make her more sad and delay her marriage. So he took Zhao Jing'er's hand and said, Okay, let's go. Mother will send you to the sedan chair. Okay, Zhao Jing'er replied. Soon, Zhao Jing'er was sent to the sedan. Young Master Zheng didn't stay long at old Zhao's house. To him, he was just here to pick up someone and go through the formalities. He didn't want to have too much to do with old Zhao's family. After all, Zhao Jin was just a concubine that he had married. She was not an important person. It was almost 11 o'clock when the wedding procession left. Many people were waiting in old Zhao's yard for the banquet to begin. Knowing that Zhao Yun'er would be the chef again, many people were looking forward to this banquet. She treated the gift money she gave to old Zhao's second branch as spending some money on a big meal. After all, they couldn't afford to eat such good food in the town's restaurants. Li Chuiying sent Zhao Jing'er off and wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes. She put away the reluctance and sadness in her heart and went to the kitchen to continue helping. She was afraid that a few people wouldn't be enough, so it was always good to help as much as possible. Yun'er girl, is the banquet about to start? Zhao Baoshan went into the kitchen and asked Zhao Yun'er. If Zhao Yun'er said the banquet was about to start, he would go set off the firecrackers. Zhao Yun'er nodded in response. It's ready. Okay. Zhao Baoshan said and went out of the kitchen to send Zhao Wenshui out with the firecrackers. This was the second branch's big day. Something like setting off firecrackers naturally had to be done by Zhao Wenshui to celebrate. However, Zhao Wenshui looked at Zhao Baoshan with a bitter face. Father, do I have to set off the firecrackers? Zhao Baoshan glared at Zhao Wenshui. If you don't set them off, who do you expect to set them off? Are you expecting this old man to help you? Chapter 1860. Zhao Baoshan replied angrily, Do your own thing. Why do you expect me to help you with such a small matter? After being scolded by Zhao Baoshan, Zhao Wenshui responded weakly. It was impossible to count on his father, sigh. His father was really stingy. Wasn't it just setting off firecrackers? What was the big deal? When Zhao Wenshui saw Zhao Wentao walking towards him, he ran up to Zhao Wentao and said, "Fourth brother, can I ask you for a favor?" Zhao Wentao frowned. He was cautious and didn't immediately agree before Zhao Wenshui said what he needed help with. "Second brother, what do you want me to help with? Tell me first." Zhao Wenshui smiled embarrassedly and said, "Fourth brother, it's not a big deal. I just want to set off some firecrackers." When Zhao Wentao heard this, he felt that setting off firecrackers was indeed not a big deal. However, he looked at Zhao Wenshui in confusion and said, "Second brother, isn't it just setting off firecrackers? Why do you want me to set them off? Why don't you set them off yourself?" Zhao Wenshui didn't know how to answer Zhao Wentao's question for a while. Zhao Baoshan snorted coldly and said, "Second brother, you've reached a new level of laziness, haven't you? You even let your fourth brother set off firecrackers. What else can you do with your long arms and legs? I think it's better to chop them up. There's no use keeping them." Zhao Wenshui pouted, feeling wronged. He explained to Zhao Baoshan, "Father, it's not because I'm lazy that I don't want to release them, then why do you think it's because?" Zhao Baoshan asked angrily. "Father, I'm afraid of firecrackers." After Zhao Wenshui said this, Zhao Wentao and Zhao Baoshan were both stunned. "Afraid of firecrackers? Second brother, it can't be. Are you afraid of firecrackers? Lao Er, your excuse for being lazy is really good. You're a big man, and you're saying that you're afraid of firecrackers?" Zhao Baoshan scolded again. Zhao Wentao also felt that it was inconceivable. His second brother was a grown man. How could he be afraid of firecrackers? Even children who were a few years old were not afraid of them. Perhaps it was really as Zhao Baoshan had said. This was the reason why Zhao Wenshui was lazy. Zhao Wenshui replied aggrievedly, "Father, I'm telling the truth. I wasn't afraid of those firecrackers from afar, but once I got close, I was scared to death. Please do me a favor and help me set them off." Zhao Baoshan kicked Zhao Wenshui's butt. "You're a man. Don't embarrass yourself in front of me. Hurry up and release it. Don't count on others." Zhao Wenshui staggered and almost fell to the ground. Fortunately, they were in the house. If someone saw this outside, they would laugh at him. Zhao Wenshui steadied himself and turned around. When he saw Zhao Baoshan's gloomy and uncertain face, he knew that it was impossible to trouble Zhao Baoshan. With Zhao Baoshan around, there was no way he could ask Zhao Wentao to help him. Zhao Wenshui glanced at the soaked firecrackers on the ground and felt a trace of fear in his heart. Unfortunately, he had no choice but to carry the firecrackers outside and set them off. With every step he took outside, he felt like he was facing death calmly. What's wrong with second uncle? Why does his face look so ferocious? Zhao Yun looked out of the wooden shed. When she caught a glimpse of Zhao Wenshui's expression, she only felt that it was very funny. Chapter 1861. Liang Jinxiao also took a look and found it very strange. He shook his head and replied to Zhao Yuner, "I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with your second uncle." Then, Liang Jinxiao's gaze fell on Li Chuiying and he said to Li Chuiying, "Second sister-in-law, is second brother feeling unwell?" Li Chuiying glanced at Zhao Wenshui indifferently. He was still angry about what had happened just now. She was too lazy to pay attention to Zhao Wenshui now, so she said to Liang Jinxiao, "Third sister-in-law, don't worry about him. He will be fine. He won't die." Liang Jinxiao could tell that Li Chuiying's expression was not right. He thought that Li Chuiying was still very sad about marrying his daughter today, so he did not say anything else. Zhao Yuner's gaze followed Zhao Wenshui. She had a feeling that her eccentric second uncle would do something funny. Sure enough, he really saw it. Zhao Wenshui carried the firecracker to an open space, took out a fire starter, and put his trembling hands on the fire starter. However, before he could light it, he jumped away as if he was very scared. He closed his eyes tightly and covered his ears with his hands. He looked very funny. After a while, Zhao Wenshui seemed to feel that something was wrong. He looked at the firecracker he had placed and found that the cannon was not lit at all. It was motionless. He sighed resentfully and continued to endure the fear in his heart. He took out the fire starter and put it in front of the firecracker again. Zhao Yuner finally understood that her second uncle was afraid of the firecracker. It was really funny. Even a 3-year-old child was not afraid of it. Her second uncle was so old, but he was afraid of it. The other sisters-in-law in the kitchen also understood. Feng Zhangxia could not help but hold her stomach and laugh. She also wanted to make fun of Li Chuiying. Second sister-in-law, second brother is really funny. Look at how scared he is of the firecracker. Li Chuiying did not reply. His expression darkened. It was obvious that Li Chuiying was feeling uncomfortable. Feng Zhangxia continued to laugh. You can't find a man who is more cowardly than second brother in this area. It's fine if he is afraid of other things, but he is afraid of firecrackers. My Yang Yang is not afraid. Second sister-in-law, you are so pitiful to have married such a man. Feng Zhangxia's ridicule, in Zhao Yun's view, was adding insult to injury. Instead, she continued to observe Zhao Wenshui's firecracker. Zhao Wenshui was definitely a top eccentric. He went back and forth 4 or 5 times, but he still did not light the firecracker. At this time, in the courtyard of old Zhao's house, the people who came to attend the banquet saw this. They all covered their mouths and snickered as they discussed Zhao Wenshui's behavior. Zhao Baoshan originally thought that Zhao Wenshui was just joking. Now that he saw Zhao Wenshui's actions, he was so angry that fire almost came out of his nostrils. He was angry and scolded, this second brother is really shameless. Our old Zhao family's face was almost completely ruined by him. Zhao Wenshu happened to walk to Zhao Baoshan's side. He followed Zhao Baoshan and said, "That's right, father. Second brother is really a coward. Don't blame others for laughing at him." Zhao Baoshan did not want to see Zhao Wenshui continue to embarrass himself. He nudged Zhao Wenshu beside him and said, "Boss, go and help light the firecracker. If it can't be lit, the villagers will probably laugh their heads off." Chapter 1862. Of course, the most important thing was that he had helped Zhao Wenshui set off the firecrackers. In any case, he had done Zhao Wenshui a huge favor. It would be fine after the banquet. He could ask the second branch for more wine and food. Zhao Wenshu ran to Zhao Wenshui and taunted Zhao Wenshui, "Second brother, you're even more timid than a little rabbit, aren't you? You're actually this scared of a firecracker?" Zhao Wenshui replied pitifully, "Big brother, I'm not afraid of other things. I'm just scared of this thing." "What can I do?" Zhao Wenshu then said to Zhao Wenshui, Okay. I'll set it off for you." Zhao Wenshui blinked his eyes in surprise. "Big brother, is what you said true? Are you really going to set it off for me?" Zhao Wenshu raised his chin. "Of course. It's a piece of cake. But second brother, let's make a deal. You have to give me more wine to drink later." Zhao Wenshui agreed without hesitation. "Big brother, as long as you help me set off as much wine as you want." He had gone back and forth a few times now. His heart had long broken down. If he continued setting it off, he probably wouldn't be able to light it up. With Zhao Wenshui's promise, Zhao Wenshu was relieved. "Okay. Here, give me the fire starter." Zhao Wenshui handed the fire starter to Zhao Wenshu. When Zhao Wenshu reached out to light the fire starter, Zhao Wenshui hurriedly said, "Big brother, wait a minute." "What's wrong?" Zhao Wenshu replied in confusion. "Big brother, you have to wait until I'm far away before you set it off." Zhao Wenshui said weakly. He still looked very scared. I know. Zhang Wenshui was speechless. After Zhao Wenshui ran back into the house, Zhao Wenshi reached out to light the firecrackers. In the kitchen, Feng Zhangxia proudly said to Li Chuiying, second sister-in-law, "Look at how cowardly your man is. My Tianlong's father is the best. He's not afraid of the firecrackers at all." Li Chuiying sighed. She was already numb to Feng Zhangxia's scolding. In her heart, Zhao Wenshui was indeed not a good man. Now, she despised him even more. It was a pity that she had a hard life. She had married such a person in this lifetime, and there was no way to change it. Zhao Wenshi lit the fire with a match in his hand. In order to show that he was brave, Zhao Wenshi did not run away immediately. However, an accident happened at this time. The ignited firecracker suddenly exploded with a bang, causing sparks to fly everywhere. Fortunately, the firecrackers were held far away, and the villagers were not splashed by the sparks. However, Zhao Wenshi, who was only 1 meter away from the firecrackers, was in a miserable state. There were several holes in his clothes from the explosion. Especially his buttocks, where his pants were completely torn apart. His buttocks and thighs were injured, and a lot of blood was oozing out. Everyone in old Zhao's courtyard was stunned. They had never encountered such a situation where firecrackers were set off. After everyone was stunned for a few seconds, they heard Zhao Wenshi's miserable scream. "Ah, it hurts so much. It hurts so much." Feng Zhangxia, who was in the kitchen, was the first to run out. She shouted, "Tianlong's father, are you okay? Tianlong's father." Zhao Baoshan was stunned by the explosion of the firecrackers. What was going on? Boss was injured by the explosion? Were firecrackers that dangerous? Zhao Wenshui, who was next to Zhao Baoshan, patted his chest and sighed in relief. If Zhao Wenshi did not replace him, he would be the one who was hit by the firecrackers. Seeing Zhao Wenshi's clothes were torn apart and bleeding, Zhao Wenshui was scared witless. Chapter 1863. Zhao Wenshui said weakly to Zhao Baoshan, "Dad, look, I'm not afraid of the firecrackers for no reason. Previously, when I saw the firecrackers in the town, I remembered what had happened when I saw the firecrackers. Big brother was really injured by the firecrackers this time." Zhao Baoshan's expression was solemn, and the corners of his mouth trembled. He didn't expect Zhao Wenshui to be injured by the firecrackers. Thinking of how he reprimanded his second son, it seemed that he was the one in the wrong. "Dad, let's go and see Big Brother." Zhao Wentao's expression was also solemn, afraid that something would happen to Zhao Wenshi. They all walked towards Zhao Wenshi. Feng Zhangxia rushed to Zhao Wenshui and found that Zhao Wenshui's body was covered with wounds, and he looked very miserable. "Oh, Tianlong's father, how did you end up like this? You have to hold on, don't let anything happen to you." Feng Zhangxia cried and shouted. For women in ancient times, men were their sky, and women without men couldn't live their lives. It hurts so much. Zhao Wenshi was in so much pain that he almost cried. Not only was it painful, but the clothes on his buttocks were also torn open by the explosion, and it was exposed outside. Old Zhao's courtyard was used by so many people, and many people probably saw it. Who knew how they would laugh at him when he returned? Zhao Baoshan and the others also rushed to Zhao Wenshi's side and saw that Zhao Wenshi's injuries were indeed quite serious. Zhao Baoshan ordered Zhao Wentao, who was beside him, "Fourth brother, quickly go and call Dr. Sun over for Big Brother to take a look. Big Brother's injuries need to be properly bandaged." Feng Zhangxia wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes and quickly responded, "Yes, yes, fourth brother, quickly go and help your big brother find a doctor." Then she turned to Zhao Wenshi and said to Zhao Wenshi, "Tianlong's father, you have to hold on. Fourth brother, go and find Dr. Sun now. Sister-in-law, don't be too anxious. Although Big Brother's injuries are a little serious, he definitely won't die. These are all external injuries, and internal injuries are difficult to treat." Zhao Wenshui comforted Feng Zhangxia. He felt a little guilty. After all, if his big brother didn't help him light the firecrackers, he wouldn't have been injured so badly. After Zhao Wenshui finished speaking, Zhao Baoshan glared at Zhao Wenshui. His tone was filled with displeasure. Second brother, do you even know how to speak? If you don't, then shut up. He Baoshan's disdainful of Zhao's father. He Baoshan's father's father didn't even comforting people's as his father's disdained comforting him. Feng Zhangxia was also a little unhappy, and said to Zhao Wushui, second brother, my family's Tianlong's father was injured so badly because he helped you set off the firecrackers. Do you still have any conscience? Zhao Wenshui curled his lips in grievance and said, sister-in-law. How am I without a conscience? Seeing big brother like this, I also feel distressed. No one knew that this would really happen. If you knew, big brother definitely wouldn't have helped me light the firecrackers. Feng Zhangxia snorted coldly, second brother, let me be frank. Today, your big brother was injured because he helped you light the firecrackers. Later, you have to compensate your big brother well. Later, you have to pay for Dr. Sun's medical fees. Later, when your big brother recuperates, you have to pay for some tonics. Otherwise, I won't let you off. Chapter 1864. Feng Zhangxia's expression became a little better, but she was still a little unhappy when she saw Zhao Wenshui's face. Her man was injured, so he definitely wouldn't be able to work during this period. He had to recuperate at home. However, it was the busy season now, so the rice in the field had to be tended. Without Zhao Wenshui, it was impossible. However, he didn't think about this for the time being. If he really didn't have anyone to help him at that time, he would continue to rely on Zhao Wenshui. Anyway, Zhao Wenshui was injured because he helped Zhao Wenshui set off the firecrackers. Zhao Wenshui had to be responsible for everything in his family. Zhao Baoshan said calmly, okay, don't say so much. Hurry up and help the boss into the house to rest. He can't keep lying on the ground. Okay, Dad. Feng Zhangxia and Zhao Wenshui both responded and helped Zhao Wenshui up from the ground. Zhao Wenshui continued to cry out in pain, Dad, it really hurts so much. My flesh is about to explode. Although Zhao Baoshan felt a little sorry for Zhao Wenshui, he still snorted coldly and replied to Zhao Wenshui, okay, a man is injured. Can't you bear with it? Aren't you afraid of being laughed at by others when you keep crying out in pain? Dad. I can't stand the pain anymore. Zhao Wenshui replied weakly. Hurry up and go back to the house. Zhao Baoshan urged again with a serious face. Just now, he had heard the villagers' discussion. Originally, today's joke was already big enough, but in the end, this happened again. Zhao Wenshui and Feng Zhangxia each supported Zhao Wenshui and finally helped Zhao Wenshui back to the house. After a while, Zhao Wentao brought Dr. Sun over. Seeing so many people in old Zhao's house, Dr. Sun was reluctant. After the incident between him and Ma Xiaofeng, he didn't want to go out and meet people. Because of this, he would often be scolded by others when he went out. He was already so old, how could he withstand the ridicule of others? He felt a little embarrassed, so he hid from the crowd. Now that old Zhao's family was holding a wedding and his wife was the one who came to drink, he hid in his room and didn't come. When Zhao Wentao came looking for him, he refused at first. Later, he couldn't win against Zhao Wentao. After all, it was a human life. If something happened, he would feel guilty. Thus, he overcame his psychological barrier and followed Zhao Wentao to old Zhao's house. He didn't expect to meet everyone's gazes as soon as he arrived. It was very uncomfortable being stared at. Dr. Sun hurriedly carried the medicine box and walked into the room in the lobby. Dr. Sun, can you help me take a look at my husband? Feng Qingxia saw Dr. Sun come in and quickly greeted Dr. Sunday. Only then did Dr. Sun approach the bed and check the injuries on Zhao Wenshui's body. They're all superficial wounds. It's not a big deal. He'll be fine after applying some ointment. However, if he comes into contact with water within half a month, it will be serious if he doesn't get pus. Dr. Sun instructed. Feng Zhangxia hurriedly nodded in response. It was good that it wasn't a big deal. If something really happened, how could a woman like her support a family? After Dr. Sun finished speaking, he took out the medicine from the medicine box and handed it to Feng Zhangxia. It's a total of 800 copper coins. Dr. Sun directly reported the price. Okay, Dr. Sun. After Feng Zhangxia took the ointment, she greeted Zhao Wenshui, second brother. Why are you still in a daze? Hurry up and get the money for Dr. Sunday. Do you expect me to give you 800 copper coins? Chapter 1865. With that, Zhao Wenshui left the room and ran towards the kitchen. As soon as he got to the kitchen, he yelled at Li Chuiying, "Hurry up and give me 1 tael of silver." Li Chuiying was slightly stunned and asked in confusion, "Jing's father, why do you want 1 tael of silver?" Li Chuiying just thought it was strange, so he asked casually. However, Zhao Wenshui felt uncomfortable when he heard this. He felt that it was very embarrassing for a man like him to be asked such questions when he was looking for a wife to get some money. He then said to Li Chuiying unhappily, "Why do you like to nag and ask so many questions? I asked you to give me the money, so give me the money. Why are you talking so much nonsense?" Zhao Wenshui's attitude made Li Chuiying feel a little disappointed. Now he couldn't even ask about it. How badly did this man treat her? "Jing's father, I just asked casually. We don't spend money on wine at home." Li Chuiying replied weakly. Zhao Wenshui's temper suddenly flared up. He waved his fist at Li Chuiying. "I think you're itching for a beating, aren't you? How dare you talk to your man like that? You're like this because I treat you too well." Li Chuiying's body was hit by Zhao Wenshui's fist, and he let out a painful groan. Zhao Yun couldn't stand it anymore. Zhao Wenshui was really disgusting. It was fine if he was tough to others, but he was always showing off in front of his wife. In front of others, he was a coward. Zhao Yun immediately pulled Li Chuiying behind her and stood in front of Li Chuiying. She said coldly to Zhao Wenshui, "Second uncle, you're really capable. You actually hit your wife. I don't know how shameless you are." Zhao Wenshui glared at Zhao Yun, "You damn girl, get out of my way. What does it have to do with you that I'm teaching my daughter-in-law a lesson? Although it has nothing to do with me, I like to interfere when I see something that I don't like." Zhao Yun said and kicked Zhao Wenshui hard. Then, Zhao Wenshui was seen flying through the air in an arc, falling far away. Even the chair was smashed down. Zhao Wenshui, on the other hand, let out a series of pig-like howls. "Oh! Murder, murder!" Everyone stared at Zhao Wenshui. Not only did they have no intention of helping, but they also burst into laughter. A man was actually beaten up like this by a woman. He was really useless. If it was in the past, Li Chuiying would have jumped over when he saw Zhao Wenshui suffer such a serious injury. Now that he saw Zhao Wenshui rolling on the ground in pain, Li Chuiying didn't have the slightest sympathy. His eyes were still cold. Instead, he felt that Zhao Wenshui deserved it. If he didn't teach this kind of man a lesson, should he be kept alive for the new year? Hearing the commotion outside, Zhao Baoshan came out of the room to ask. Zhao Yun only explained faintly. When he saw Zhao Wenshui on the ground, Zhao Baoshan secretly shook his head. This second uncle wasn't a good person either. Second uncle's wife, this money is for your eldest brother's medical expenses. Second uncle came to get it from you. Zhao Baoshan explained. After hearing Zhao Baoshan's words, Li Chuiying finally understood. Zhao Wenshui was injured because he helped their family set off the firecrackers. It was understandable that they had to pay for his medical expenses. Chapter 1866. Zhao Baoshan responded. After a while, Li Chuiying took out 1 tael of silver and handed it to Zhao Baoshan. Zhao Baoshan took it and instructed Li Chuiying to continue working. Although Zhao Wenshui was injured, the banquet still had to be held. As for Zhao Wenshui's side, Zhao Baoshan walked to Zhao Wenshui and kicked Zhao Wenshui's body heavily. Useless thing, hurry up and get up. You only know how to make a fool of yourself. Zhao Wenshui was already injured. Now that he was kicked by Zhao Baoshan, the pain was even worse. Father, I'm in pain. I can't get up. Zhao Wenshui mumbled. If you can't get up, then sleep on the ground. Don't get up today. Father. Zhao Wenshui felt wronged and wondered if he was really Zhao Baoshan's biological son. Otherwise, why would Zhao Baoshan dislike him so much? Although it hurt, it wasn't to the extent that he couldn't get up. Zhao Wenshui propped himself up with some difficulty and followed Zhao Baoshan's footsteps. When they reached the house, Zhao Baoshan handed the tael of silver given by Li Chuiying to Dr. Sunday. Dr. Sun took out 200 copper coins from the medicine box. After getting the change, he took the medicine box and was about to leave. Zhao Baoshan called out to Dr. Sun, Dr. Sun, why don't you stay for a banquet? It's just in time for lunch. It's troublesome for you to go back and cook. Why don't you eat here? One more person won't make a difference. Zhao Baoshan knew that Zhao Baoshan's wife came to Dr. Sun's house today, so Dr. Sun didn't have anything to eat. Therefore, he kindly said this. Dr. Sun shook his head, no, I'd better go home. For the sake of this meal, she would feel uncomfortable being stared at by so many people. Dr. Sun, you don't have to be so polite. It's just a banquet. Zhao Baoshan tried to persuade him again. Dr. Sun still shook his head. Old man Zhao, I appreciate your kindness, but I'll pass on the banquet. Since Dr. Sun had said so, Zhao Baoshan didn't continue to force him to stay. All right then. Dr. Sun, please be careful on the road. All right. After Dr. Sun left, Zhao Wenshui's injuries were treated. The kitchen continued to be busy preparing for the banquet. This banquet was quite interesting to watch. So many things had happened. Li Chuiying's mood was affected the most. Seeing Li Chuiying's sadness, Liang Jinxiao patted Li Chuiying's shoulder and said, Second sister-in-law, don't be sad. You have to live well. Things will get better in the future. Well, thank you, third sister-in-law. Li Chuiying had a faint smile on the corner of her mouth. Although it was indeed hard to live with Zhao Wenshui, not everyone around her was a bad person. Zhao Yun's family was good. They often helped her. The women were extremely busy in the kitchen. Fortunately, the banquet was finally over. Although the second branch's banquet wasn't as sumptuous as the third branch's, it was considered very good in the village. While Zhao Yun was busy, she was worried about Mu Lianfeng's situation at home. With Tian around, Mu Lianfeng definitely couldn't leave. She had to make some food and send it to Mu Lianfeng. After the banquet, it wasn't too late. The mealtime was only about an hour later than usual. Chapter 1867. Meanwhile, in the courtyard of Zhao Yun's house, Mu Lianfeng sat under the shade of a tree, holding Tian in his arms. Tian was very well behaved, otherwise, it would be difficult for a man like him to torment her. Now that it was time for dinner, his stomach began to rumble, and he was a little hungry. But because he had to take care of Tian, he couldn't find anything for himself to eat. Moreover, he had to feed Tian milk. Zhao Yun had finished preparing the goat milk and told him to do so. Only then did he bring the goat milk out and feed Tian bit by bit. Seeing Tian eating so happily, Mu Lianfeng couldn't help but swallow a few mouthfuls of saliva. You little doll, I think you're doing it on purpose, right? You know that I'm hungry, so you're eating so happily. Are you trying to make me starve to death? Mu Lianfeng nagged at the little doll in his arms, but his tone was full of affection. Tian blinked at Mu Lianfeng, and her appearance was so cute that it could melt a person. Little girl, you're really good at pretending to be wronged. Don't think that you can act cute. Tian's eyes turned, and then she bloomed a sweet smile at Mu Lianfeng. Acting cute and smiling, Mu Lianfeng had to admit that he had been seduced by a little doll liar. Looking at Tiantian's delicate pink face, Mu Lianfeng couldn't help but start to daydream. He didn't know what Tian would be like when she grew up. She would probably be very cute. A gentle and graceful woman was a gentleman's dream. When the time came, Tian would definitely be pursued by many boys. As a father, he had to check carefully and choose a good husband for Tian in the future. After being stunned for a moment, Mu Lianfeng continued to feed Tian in his arms with a spoon. As he fed, he said to Tian, "Little girl, grow up quickly. When you grow teeth, you won't need to drink milk anymore. When the time comes, your mother will make meat for you to eat." Hearing the mention of meat, Tiantian's eyes lit up, as if she was looking forward to it. Not far away, a slender figure suddenly walked over. It was a young girl wearing a pink dress. Coupled with her delicate face, she looked youthful and beautiful. Mu Lianfeng had seen this girl before. He also knew her name, Ma Xiaofeng. Last time, when his clothes were hooked by the thorns, it was this girl who helped him untie it. However, he had no feelings for Ma Xiaofeng. Thinking that Zhao Yuner seemed to hate her, she didn't have a good impression of Ma Xiaofeng. Now, Ma Xiaofeng was walking towards Zhao Yuner's new home. What was she going to do? While Mu Lianfeng was thinking, Ma Xiaofeng had already arrived at Zhao Yuner's courtyard. As soon as Ma Xiaofeng saw Mu Lianfeng sitting under the shade of a tree, his long black hair fluttering in the breeze, his luxurious clothes, and his handsome face, her heart couldn't help but beat faster. Such a fine man, any woman who saw him would blush and have their hearts beat faster, and they would admire him. The reason why she came to Zhao Yuner's house today was that she knew that Zhao Yuner was helping the second branch to hold a banquet. The rest of Zhao Yuner's family also went to help or drink wine. Thinking that Mu Lianfeng might be the only one at home, Ma Xiaofeng made up her mind to come over and take a look. She didn't expect to be so lucky, it really was him. Usually, because Zhao Yuner was there, she didn't find a chance to be alone with Mu Lianfeng. Without contact, how could Mu Lianfeng understand her? How could feelings develop over time? So she had to find an opportunity for herself. Chapter 1868. Ma Xiaofeng suppressed the anxiety in her heart and put on her best performance. There was a smile on her face that she thought was beautiful as she walked towards Mu Lianfeng with a swaying gait. When Mu Lianfeng saw Ma Xiaofeng walking over, Mu Lianfeng was disgusted by her bashful and pretentious manner. When Ma Xiaofeng was in front of him, Mu Lianfeng asked indifferently, "May I know why you're here?" Ma Xiaofeng stroked her long hair and smiled gently. "Lord Heir, I'm here to look for Tianan." "Is Tianan home?" So she was here to look for Zhao Tianan. Although he didn't know why Ma Xiaofeng was looking for Zhao Tianan, Mu Lianfeng still replied, "He's not home. If you're looking for him, go to old Zhao's house. He's having a banquet now." Ma Xiaofeng hurriedly responded, "I understand, Lord Heir. Thank you for telling me." Mu Lianfeng replied indifferently, "You're welcome." With that, Mu Lianfeng stopped looking at Ma Xiaofeng and lowered his head to feed Tian. Ma Xiaofeng bit her lower lip indignantly. She had specially dressed up today and looked very delicate and pretty. Why didn't Mu Lianfeng spare her a glance? She had spent a lot of money to buy this brand new dress so that she could wear it for Mu Lianfeng. "Lord Heir." Ma Xiaofeng called out softly. Mu Lianfeng frowned and asked in a slightly displeased tone, "Miss, is there anything else about this matter?" The disdain and coldness in Mu Lianfeng's eyes made Ma Xiaofeng sad. However, her morale wasn't so easily shaken. She tugged at the corner of her lips and continued to smile at Mu Lianfeng. "Lord Heir, how can someone of your status take care of such a baby? You haven't eaten yet, right? Are you hungry? Do you want me to take care of her for you?" Meeting Ma Xiaofeng's eyes, Mu Lianfeng fell into deep thought. This girl's enthusiasm was a little too much. Mu Lianfeng rejected her flatly. "No need. I appreciate your kindness. But, what? I don't know what you mean. Just say what you want to say." Mu Lianfeng's words made Ma Xiaofeng's face flushed red. Actually, he had already hinted strongly enough. Unfortunately, Mu Lianfeng pretended not to hear him and completely ignored him. What should she do if this went on? There was no progress between her and Mu Lianfeng. Lord Heir. I wonder what kind of girl Lord Heir likes. Ma Xiaofeng mustered up her courage to ask. Mu Lianfeng's brows knitted tightly together. If he didn't understand earlier, he completely understood now. This girl wasn't here to look for Zhao Tianan. She was clearly here to throw herself at him. There was no choice. With his face and his status as the Lord Heir, there were many girls who threw themselves at him. However, before meeting Zhao Yun, he had always avoided women. It wasn't until he met Zhao Yun that he realized that he could also fall in love with a woman. As for other women, he couldn't arouse any interest and didn't want to arouse any interest. If Ma Xiaofeng wanted to provoke him, she would probably be disappointed. Chapter 1869. Ma Xiaofeng blushed at Mu Lianfeng's words. She had imagined many scenarios, but she did not expect that Mu Lianfeng would say such things to her. When she met Mu Lianfeng's eyes again, she saw the disgust in Mu Lianfeng's eyes, as if she was something filthy. Lord Heir, I'm not a vain woman. Ma Xiaofeng bit her lower lip and muttered to Mu Lianfeng unwillingly. She stared at Mu Lianfeng nervously, afraid that Mu Lianfeng would dislike her again. Mu Lianfeng sneered, isn't that so? Then tell me, why did you come to seduce me? Mu Lianfeng was very straightforward, directly saying that Ma Xiaofeng seduced him. These blatant words made Ma Xiaofeng even more unbearable. Ma Xiaofeng bit her lower lip in grievance and looked at Mu Lianfeng affectionately. Lord Heir, I didn't come because of your status and wealth. I simply admire you. Lord Heir, as long as it's a girl, she will fall head over heels for a person like you. I'm no exception, even if you're not Lord Heir, I will still admire you. Ma Xiaofeng's words meant that she liked Mu Lianfeng and admired Mu Lianfeng purely because of Mu Lianfeng. Since that was the case, she naturally could not be considered a vain woman. Mu Lianfeng's lips curved into a sarcastic smile. Even if that's the case, your character is really unflattering. Ma Xiaofeng did not understand Mu Lianfeng's words and could not help but ask, Lord Heir, why do you say that? Mu Lianfeng said coldly, you know the relationship between Yun and I, yet you still want to interfere. Don't you think it's shameful to poach someone? Ma Xiaofeng was slightly stunned and her face swelled to the color of a pig's liver. She had suffered such humiliation in the past. If it was someone else, she would have scolded back, but it had to be Lord Heir. In order to save her image in Mu Lianfeng's heart, Ma Xiaofeng explained, Lord Heir. I know that you and Sister Yun have a very good relationship, but I admire you very much, Lord Heir. It's normal for someone of your status to have multiple wives and concubines. You can't be with only Sister Yun, Xiaofeng is not greedy for anything else. I just want to stay by Lord Heir's side, even if I don't have any status. After Ma Xiaofeng finished speaking, she was very much looking forward to Mu Lianfeng's reply. However, Mu Lianfeng's reply once again hurt her heart. Miss, you must be joking. I don't have any feelings for you. What does it have to do with me that you like me? Why should I let you stay by my side? This kind of merciless rejection made Ma Xiaofeng's face hurt. Lord Heir. Aren't you going to get lost? Do you have to disgust me in front of me to make you happy? Mu Lianfeng urged her in disgust. Ma Xiaofeng was unusually embarrassed. Although she was not reconciled, she still left dejectedly. It was not easy for a girl to put down her face, but she had to suffer such treatment. It was really too sad. Watching Ma Xiaofeng's figure leave Zhao Yun's courtyard, Mu Lianfeng withdrew the coldness in his eyes. Mu Lianfeng was very disgusted by the woman who wandered around in front of him. Chapter 1870. Mu Lianfeng didn't continue to think about it. As long as Ma Xiaofeng didn't shamelessly refuse to leave, it was fine. Mu Lianfeng put away the emotions in his eyes and continued to feed Tian, who was in his arms, with the spoon in his hand. The toddler was probably enjoying it. Zhao Yun, on the other hand, walked back with a vegetable basket in her hand. She actually bumped into Ma Xiaofeng on the way. This road led to her house. Usually, no one would pass by. Only her family and Mulan would pass by. Could it be that Ma Xiaofeng went to her house? Although she was puzzled, Zhao Yun didn't ask. After all, her relationship with Ma Xiaofeng wasn't good now. She didn't want to talk to this woman. When the two of them brushed past each other, Ma Xiaofeng raised her head and glanced at Zhao Yun. There was a flash of panic in her eyes. At the same time, Zhao Yun noticed that Ma Xiaofeng's eyes were a little red. She seemed to have cried. What was going on? Before Zhao Yun could say anything, Ma Xiaofeng quickened her pace and ran away. Seeing the figure running away in a panic, as if she was very scared and nervous, Zhao Yun frowned again. She increasingly felt that there was something wrong with Ma Xiaofeng. Judging from her posture, she must have come from her house. She was dressed to the nines and was even wearing a brand new pink dress. Suddenly, Zhao Yun thought of something. A ball of fire lit up in her heart. This B***TCH, did she go to her house to look for Mu Lianfeng? She was smart. She knew that he went to old Zhao's house to hold a banquet and wasn't at home. So she took advantage of the time to come and look for Mu Lianfeng. Zhao Yun didn't need to think to know what she was up to. However, judging from the situation, Ma Xiaofeng did not succeed. She didn't know what Mu Lianfeng had done to make Ma Xiaofeng cry. Interesting. Zhao Yun didn't think too much about it. She carried the basket and continued to walk up the mountain. Finally, she returned to her courtyard. At this time, Mu Lianfeng was sitting under the shade of a tree, holding Tian in his arms and patiently feeding the goat milk. The contrast between the big and small figures was unusually warm. And Mu Lianfeng was becoming more and more like a super stay-at-home dad. Mu Lianfeng. Zhao Yun called out with a smile. Mu Lianfeng looked up and saw Zhao Yun's beautiful figure. Clearly, Zhao Yun was only wearing a coarse garment. It couldn't be compared to Ma Xiaofeng's pink dress. Zhao Yun was older in age, but when he looked at Zhao Yun, he felt that Zhao Yun had a special temperament. This temperament was very charming and attracted him. And when he saw Zhao Yun's gaze, his mood also brightened. Yun, it's time to eat. Zhao Yun carried a lunchbox in her hand and waved it in front of Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng's lips curled into a faint smile. Okay, I'm hungry now. Zhao Yun opened the lunchbox and placed the dishes in front of Mu Lianfeng. Although there were only 3 dishes, Mu Lianfeng ate them all by himself. In order to let Mu Lianfeng eat, did she? Zhao Yun took Tian from Mu Lianfeng's hands. After drinking milk, Tian fell asleep in a short while. Zhao Yun carried the child back to the house to rest. Seeing that Mu Lianfeng was eating, Zhao Yun held her face as if she was thinking about something. Mu Lianfeng put down his bowl and chopsticks and couldn't help but ask, Yun, what's wrong? Yun seemed a little strange. Zhao Yun came back to her senses and tugged at the corner of her mouth. Nothing. Chapter 1871. It was precisely because he didn't know what Zhao Yun was thinking that something was wrong with Zhao Yun that Mu Lianfeng was extremely anxious. Seeing that Mu Lianfeng continued to ask, Zhao Yun didn't hide it and smiled. I saw Ma Xiaofeng just now. Did she come to our house? Mu Lianfeng replied, yes, she came to look for me. Seeing that Mu Lianfeng explained so clearly, Zhao Yun's smile deepened. This man was very honest in front of her and didn't hide anything from her. Mu Lianfeng was afraid that Zhao Yun would misunderstand, so he hurriedly said, but Yun, don't think too much. Although she came to look for me, I chased her away. Of course I won't think too much. I believe that your taste won't be that bad. Zhao Yun's face was full of smiles. Mu Lianfeng lightly tapped the tip of Zhao Yun's nose. Of course. In this world, other than you, no other woman will catch my eye. Zhao Yun was amused by Mu Lianfeng. This guy had learned how to sweet talk. Then what if the person who came today wasn't Ma Xiaofeng, but a stunning beauty? Would you let her stay for a while longer? Mu Lianfeng's face was stiff as he replied to Zhao Yun, seriously, of course not. No matter how beautiful she is, she can't be compared to you, Although Mu Lianfeng was just using his mouth to coax her, Zhao Yun felt sweet in her heart. Sure enough, women like to listen to men's sweet talk. Even she was no exception. After Mu Lianfeng finished eating, Zhao Yun didn't go to old Zhao's house again. She would leave the rest to old Zhao's sisters-in-law. She had already completed the task of cooking. In the afternoon, Zhao Yun was very sleepy, so she went to bed and slept. He slept all the way until evening. When she got up, she was a little dizzy. She sat on the bed for a long time before she recovered. He hurriedly poured himself a cup of cold water and gulped it down. Only then did he feel much better. Zhao Yun went out. When she walked into the courtyard, she saw Mu Lianfeng holding Tian and playing with Daodu in the courtyard. Compared to when she had just transmigrated, she was much happier now. At that time, he didn't have much to eat and had to worry about making money all day long. He also had to look after Daodu, afraid that something would happen to Daodu. Now, she didn't have to worry about these things at all. Yun, you're up. Liang Jinxiao greeted when he saw Zhao Yun walk out. Yes. Zhao Yun responded. Liang Jinxiao walked in front of Zhao Yun, took out a red packet from his pocket, and handed it to Zhao Yun, Yun, this is from your second aunt. She said that it was a red packet for you to cook today. I didn't want it, but she insisted on giving it to me. Zhao Yun was stunned. She opened the red packet and saw that there was one tael of silver inside. Mother, so much? In the countryside, one tael of silver was not a small amount. It was enough to buy a lot of things. Liang Jinxiao sighed and said, yes, your second aunt said that it would cost this much to hire a chef from the town. The chef might not be able to cook as well as you. That's why she gave you so much. Zhao Yun responded and sighed. Li Chuiying was really generous to her. Could it be that Li Chuiying was so stingy in the past? Zhao Yun couldn't help but sigh. Sure enough, people change. Chapter 1872. Zhao Yun directly stuffed the red packet into Liang Jinxiao's hands. Mother, since it's second aunt's good intentions, let's accept it. Take this tael of silver. Liang Jinxiao was a little embarrassed and declined. Yun, you should take it. Zhao Yun was a little speechless and said with a serious face, Mother, why are you being so polite with me? Just take it. Liang Jinxiao stared at the red packet in her hand and sighed. Okay. She didn't specially prepare dinner. She brought back a lot of leftovers from the second branch and casually heated them up a few times before eating. The weather was getting hotter and hotter, so she didn't have a good appetite when eating. She had to cook something to go with the rice later. Soon, it was time to harvest rapeseed. Zhao Yun was washing clothes at home when she heard Mulan and Liang Jinxiao chatting. It's going to rain in a few days. Auntie, we have to harvest the rapeseed in our field quickly. Otherwise, we'll be done for after the rain. Liang Jinxiao quickly nodded and said, yes, we have to harvest it quickly. We've been busy for a year and we've only managed to harvest so little. A year's worth of oil will be gone. I've already asked Eru to harvest it. My family didn't plant much. My family planted a little more this year. I have to ask Yun's father to work more these few days. After hearing Mulan and Liang Jinxiao's conversation, Zhao Yun couldn't help but feel puzzled. There was no weather forecast in ancient times. How did they know that it would rain in a few days? Sister Mulan, who told you that it's going to rain? I think the weather these few days is very hot. It doesn't look like it's going to rain? Zhao Yun asked curiously. Mulan smiled and replied, I heard it from old man Zhang. His bones can predict the weather. Mulan explained that Mr. Zhang had rheumatism. Whenever it was about to rain, his body would ache. Under normal circumstances, it was very accurate. Therefore, when the villagers heard that old Zhang's father was in pain, they would prepare to harvest the grains. Zhao Yun'er finally understood. However, compared to modern times, there were indeed many inconveniences. If there was a weather forecast, the prevention would probably be more accurate. After all, there were still many inconveniences for ancient people. Zhao Yun'er felt that the air was slightly better and the pace of life was slightly slower. Everything else was incomparable to the 21st century. Thinking of this hot and dry weather, Zhao Yun'er missed the real air conditioning of the 21st century. Staying here would be too cool. Unfortunately, he couldn't go back after coming here. What she needed to do now was not to lament about the tragedy, but to think of ways to make her life in ancient times better. She could create some things that she didn't have. Hearing Mulan's words, Zhao Yun'er looked forward to the rain in a few days. It hadn't rained since the beginning of summer, and the weather was very hot. If it rained, it could cool down the temperature, and it would be much more comfortable to sleep at night. Mulan chatted for a while and went back. There were still many things to do at home, so she couldn't leave for long. Zhao Yun'er put the washed clothes on the drying pole. After a busy morning, Zhao Wenhua came back tired and sweaty. Liang Jinxiao hurriedly poured a cup of herbal tea for Zhao Wenhua. Zhao Wenhua finished it in a few mouthfuls. Chapter 1873. Zhao Wenhua wiped the beads of sweat off his forehead and pursed his lips. If we rush to harvest, we'll definitely be able to finish harvesting. But we'll have to work a little harder these few days. Yun'er's father, you've worked hard. Liang Jinxiao looked at Zhao Wenhua with a tinge of heartache. Zhao Wenhua hurriedly waved his hand. What's the trouble? It's what I should do. Liang Jinxiao's lips curled into a smile. The happiest thing now was to be together as a family. If everyone worked hard together, their lives would get better and better. These few days, Zhao Yun'er's family was busy working in the fields. Zhao Wenhua went to work early every day and finally harvested all the rapeseed seeds. He removed the seeds and put them into gunny sacks. When he had time, he would directly take them to the oil mill to extract oil. The day before the rain, Li Chuiying ran over to the third branch. Looking at Li Chuiying's appearance, he seemed to have cried. Liang Jinxiao hurriedly asked, second sister-in-law, what's wrong? Li Chuiying sighed. Sigh, third sister-in-law, can I ask third brother for a favor? Seeing Li Chuiying's worried expression, Liang Jinxiao hurriedly asked, second sister-in-law, what kind of favor do you need? What's wrong? Tell me. Li Chuiying began to complain. It's like this. Your second brother refuses to harvest the half-moo of rapeseed seeds that we planted at home. He's too lazy to let them grow maggots at home. Isn't it going to rain soon? If he doesn't harvest them, won't it be a waste of the rapeseed seeds? Liang Jinxiao nodded when he heard this. That's true. Why doesn't second brother harvest them? Isn't it a waste to have these seeds at home? Half a moo of rapeseed seeds will produce a lot of oil. Li Chuiying sighed and said, that's right. Half a moo of rapeseed oil is enough for me to eat for a long time. Sigh, that's why I came to ask third brother for help. Liang Jinxiao thought about Li Chuiying's vegetable seeds. It would be a pity if he did not take them back. Then she agreed, okay, second sister-in-law. I'll talk to Yun'er's father later and ask him to accept it for you. Li Chuiying's face was full of guilt. I've really troubled you and third brother. That wretched son of mine is getting lazier and lazier. Liang Jinxiao had some sympathy for Li Chuiying. Thinking about Zhao Wenshui, He indeed did not have the sense of responsibility that a man should have. It was a pity that Li Chuiying still had to live with Zhao Wenshui. Right now, Li Chuiying didn't have the ability or the way to get out alone. Liang Jinxiao patted Li Chuiying on the shoulder and said, "Second sister-in-law, it's okay. Take your time. Maybe things will get better in the future." Okay. Li Chuiying could only comfort herself like this. The second branch's rapeseed seeds were finally harvested with the third branch's help. They were very lucky that they managed to do it before it rained. The next day, it started to rain heavily. Ever since Zhao Yuner transmigrated to this world, this was the first time she encountered such heavy rain. The summer rain was indeed very heavy. The workers on the mountains stopped working and didn't continue working. This kind of weather was not suitable for outdoor sports. The originally hot weather cooled down a lot because of the rain. In ancient times, when it rained, people could only stay indoors and not go anywhere. However, it was quite interesting for the family to sit together and chat. The rain continued for 5 days without any signs of stopping. Zhao Wenhua sat in the room and looked at the weather outside worriedly. There was a hint of worry between her brows. Chapter 1874. Looking at the situation, it seemed that the rice seedlings in the field had been covered by the heavy rain for the past few days. If this continued, this year's harvest would definitely not be good. However, the farmers relied on the rice in the field to survive. Without a harvest, many people would starve to death. Zhao Wenhua stared at the heavy rain outside and sighed. "Sigh, this rain can't continue. Otherwise, something will happen. Yuner's father, don't worry. If it rains, we can't stop it." Sigh, that's right. I can't help it. I just can't help but worry. Zhao Yuner held Tian Tian in her arms. In fact, she didn't like rainy days very much. The rain always gave people a very depressing feeling. Moreover, the inside and outside of the house were wet, which made people feel uncomfortable. Although the weather was cooler, the next rain would cool down. There was no need to keep raining like this. After a few more days, although the rain was a little lighter, it didn't seem to stop. Zhao Yuner's family was still in shock. A mudslide almost formed on the back mountain and washed away her house. When they chose the foundation, they didn't expect this to happen. Zhao Yuner hurriedly dealt with it with the family. They dug a ditch at the back of the house so that it could drain the water. Otherwise, if they encountered such a situation again, they were afraid that even their lives would be lost. They wouldn't be able to sleep well at night. However, when they dug the ditch, Zhao Yuner, Mu Lianfeng, Zhao Wenhua, and Zhao Tianan were all soaked in the rain. After soaking in the rain for a day, they finally dug the ditch. Their bodies were all cold. Zhao Yuner couldn't stop sneezing. It was obvious that she had caught a cold. Liang Jinxiao hurriedly boiled a large pot of hot water for the family to bathe. After soaking in the hot water, Zhao Yuner's cold body recovered a little bit of warmth. Zhao Yuner couldn't help but sigh at the changeable weather when she thought about how hot it was a few days ago and how she had to wrap herself in a quilt to keep warm these days. He thought that the weather in the 21st century changed quickly, but it turned out that the weather in ancient times was the same. Seeing that Zhao Yuner kept sneezing, Mu Lianfeng felt a little distressed and said, "Yuner, why don't I cook some ginger soup for you? It can warm you up." Zhao Yun thought about it and felt that it was indeed possible. Other than her, who had to drink some ginger soup to warm her body, everyone else in the house had to drink some too. "All right. Then I'll ask Auntie to cook it." "All right." After a while, Mu Lianfeng brought a bowl of ginger soup over. Mu Lianfeng walked to Zhao Yuner, picked up a spoon, and handed the ginger soup to Zhao Yuner's mouth. "Come, Yuner, drink it." Zhao Yuner felt that the posture in front of her was a little strange. Was it really okay for Mu Lianfeng to be so considerate? I'll drink it myself." Zhao Yuner's face turned slightly red. "Why don't you let me feed you?" Mu Lianfeng was a little puzzled. Zhao Yuner looked a little embarrassed. It's too intimate. It's embarrassing if other people see it. I'll do it myself. I'll drink it faster. Mu Lianfeng smiled and handed the bowl to Zhao Yuner helplessly. Yuner, we'll be husband and wife in the future. So what if other people see it? Zhao Yuner said with a straight face, that won't do. All right, as you wish. Mu Lianfeng looked at Zhao Yuner with eyes full of affection. Chapter 1875. Zhao Yuner sighed and looked out of the window with some melancholy. Sigh, I don't know when this rain will stop. It's really uncomfortable to be cooped up in the house these days. How nice would it be to go out for a walk? Mu Lianfeng smiled and said, Yuner, I think this rain is pretty good. What's so good about it? Zhao Yuner muttered, as if she didn't agree with Mu Lianfeng's words. Mu Lianfeng explained, if it hadn't rained, I wouldn't have had so many opportunities to be with you all day long. I'd like to continue enjoying myself like this for a few more days. I'd like to see you all the time and do what I like with you. When Mu Lianfeng said this, Zhao Yuner's face suddenly turned red. Do what you like, sigh, sure enough, men are all perverts. She had been resting at home for the past few days and had nothing to do. At night, Mu Lianfeng tortured her badly. The problem was that this guy didn't have to work during the day and slept well, so he was really energetic at night. Sometimes, this guy wanted to do it more than once. As long as he wasn't asleep, he would always think of ways to do her once. When Zhao Yuner woke up the next morning, she couldn't straighten her back and her whole body was sore. This was also the first time she realized that doing this kind of thing was sometimes more tiring for women than men. However, Mu Lianfeng didn't realize it. In Zhao Yuner's opinion, Mu Lianfeng probably wanted to double the meat that he hadn't eaten for more than 20 years. When faced with such a wolf-like person, Zhao Yuner could only swallow her grievances. If you continue to be like this, I'm going to be angry with you. Zhao Yuner glared at Mu Lianfeng and warned him angrily. Mu Lianfeng felt wronged and said, Yuner, what's wrong? Don't be indecent in front of me. The smile on Mu Lianfeng's face deepened. After being trapped in the house for a few days, her relationship with Mu Lianfeng had improved a lot. Sure enough, time breeds affection. The two of them had to spend more time together. The sky finally cleared up, but there were puddles everywhere outside. It was not easy for people to go out for a walk. Therefore, he had no choice but to wait in the house for a few more days. Only when the road was not so muddy did he walk out. And now it was the Dragon Boat Festival. Dumplings were eaten during the Dragon Boat Festival in both ancient and modern times. As a traditional festival, the villagers would more or less wrap some zongzi to eat. Zhao Yuner likes to eat meat dumplings and candied dates. Liang Jinxiao likes mung bean dumplings, so no matter what kind of dumplings it is, Zhao Yuner wants to make some. However, to make zongzi, he had to buy some bamboo leaves and glutinous rice. When he was in the countryside, he could harvest some bamboo leaves, but it would be more troublesome. When he was harvesting bamboo leaves, he would cut his hand with zongzi. These things were not expensive, so Zhao Yuner planned to go to Sun City to buy some. He also had to buy some glutinous rice and red dates. There was still some bacon left at home. It was enough to make zongzi. In addition, it had been raining for almost half a month. The family did not eat any fresh pork. Zhao Yuner planned to go to town to buy some back so that the family could satisfy their cravings. Mulan was also planning to go to Sun City. Therefore, he and Zhao Yuner teamed up and rushed Xiaomao to Sun City. After the rain stopped, Sun City returned to its usual bustling state. Zhao Yuner and Mulan soon found a place that sold bamboo leaves. The two of them sold a few handfuls of bamboo leaves and went to buy some glutinous rice. Chapter 1876. After a round of shopping, the two of them reaped a bountiful harvest. Looking at the big cart full of things, Zhao Yun couldn't help but sigh. This woman's fighting ability was too strong. Unknowingly, she could buy a lot of things back. Fortunately, she had money in her hands. If it were the 21st century, her salary wouldn't be enough to spend it all. In her previous life, she couldn't be blamed for not dressing up well. It was difficult for her to eat with her salary, so how could she buy so many clothes and cosmetics? Especially as a police officer, if she encountered a gangster, one of her clothes would be ruined. Sigh, this money can't support spending. Today, I bought these things and it's gone. Mulan couldn't help but sigh. Zhao Yun patted Mulan's shoulder and said, "You have more motivation to earn money when you spend it. Otherwise, why would you keep such a small amount of money?" Mulan nodded and said, "Yun, you're right. I have to earn more money in the future. Otherwise, the family's money won't be enough to spend. Don't worry, I'm here." She was sure that she could lead Mulan's family on the road to riches. When the two of them were packing up and preparing to go back, they suddenly met two women. One of them pointed at Zhao Yun and said, "Sister-in-law of the Tian family, look. Isn't this the daughter-in-law you broke off the engagement with?" The woman from the Wu clan, who was called the Tian family's sister-in-law, glanced at Zhao Yun. Looking at Zhao Yun's familiar face, she found that it was indeed her. However, the Wu clan wasn't sure. The Zhao Yun in front of her was different from the Zhao Yun in her memory. They look alike but also not alike. My daughter-in-law who broke off the engagement with the Tian family wasn't so beautiful. She wasn't so fair and was even skinnier. Moreover, her family was poor. How could they drive an ox cart here and buy these good things back? After that incident, she asked Tian Wenhan to break off the engagement. Not to mention that Zhao Yun's body was defiled, and she gave birth to a child before marriage. If he married such a daughter-in-law, their Tian family would definitely be laughed at. Another reason was that Zhao Yun's family was not rich. Before the engagement, Tian Wenhan had not passed the county examination, so the two of them were a good match. Later, when Tian Wenhan passed the county-level examination, he was different from the rest. Old Zhao's family was not worthy of him. If he wanted to find a Tian Wenhan, he could find a better one. The man who accompanied the Wu clan said with a smile, "I don't know whether it's true or not. My great-aunt who married into Shuilan village told me that old Zhao's family is different from before." "What's the difference?" Wu clan asked curiously. "You still don't know, right? All the branches of old Zhao's family have become rich, especially your former in-law's branch. I heard from my great-aunt that her family has built more than a dozen big brick houses. It's very magnificent and unique in the village. Now the family has more money than they can spend." Hearing this, Wu clan opened their mouths. They couldn't digest so much information in a short time. They had become rich and built such a big house. Even in the Tian family's village, few people could do this. They must be very rich. Then they looked at Zhao Yun'er and saw that Zhao Yun'er was wearing an aqua blue dress today. The material of the dress was of the best quality and could not be bought with several taels of silver. Could it be that her previous in-laws had really become rich? Chapter 1877. The Wu clan felt a bit better when the woman didn't say anything. After the woman said that, the Wu clan felt suffocated in their hearts. When Wenhan and Zhao Yun'er broke off their engagement, they thought they could find a better wife. However, after the matchmaker had looked for them a few times, she realized that they were either dissatisfied or had better conditions and looked down on their family. So after searching for so long, they still couldn't find a satisfactory marriage. Their Wenhan still hadn't married. In the village, men of Tian Wenhan's age would have already married and had children. Their children would probably be old enough to buy soy sauce. But after looking around, they still couldn't find one. However, the Wu clan was still unwilling to give up and didn't want to casually find a girl. If that was the case, they wouldn't have broken off their engagement with Zhao Yun'er. Wasn't it because they wanted to find a better wife? Now, seeing that Zhao Yun's family had become rich, they seemed to have a lot of money. Then, looking at Zhao Yun's donkey cart, there were still a few kilograms of meat. They were all country people. How could they be willing to buy meat to eat? They probably couldn't buy so much meat even during the New Year. If she hadn't stopped them and married Zhao Yun, their Tian family could have been like Zhao Yun's family, able to eat meat from time to time. Staring at the meat Zhao Yun bought, the Wu clan couldn't help but swallow. Unfortunately, it was too late to regret what they had done. Seeing that the Wu clan didn't speak, the woman next to them said, "I say, Tian family's sister-in-law, when your Wenhan was engaged to this girl, I heard that she also liked Wenhan very much. Why don't you go and ask again? Bring your Wenhan with you. Maybe she hasn't even gotten married yet, but on account of your family's Wenhan, she agreed to marry into your Tian family." Hearing this, the Wu clan's eyes turned. They felt that it was indeed possible. Since Zhao Yun was still living with her parents in Shui Lan village, there was still a chance. At that time, the Tian family broke off the engagement, and Zhao Yun gave birth to a child out of wedlock. With such conditions, it was impossible for her to get married. If she brought her Wenhan to Zhao Yun's house to talk about it again, perhaps the girl's family would be deeply grateful. When the time came and she really married into the Tian family, the dowry would definitely be substantial. In the future, the Tian family would naturally be able to live a good life. The more the Wu clan thought about it, the more feasible it seemed. They decided to discuss it with Tian Wenhan when they got back. In the past few years, although her son didn't say it, the Wu clan was well aware of it. As for Zhao Yun, her son was also attracted to her. When the engagement was called off, Tian Wenhan had not been able to eat for several days. He was listless every day, and it took him a while to recover. Even if they were to matchmake him, he wouldn't be interested. Obviously, he was still thinking about Zhao Yun. If they went back and talked to Tian Wenhan, he would naturally agree. He would probably be very happy. The Wu clan smiled and said to the woman beside them, "Sister-in-law, thank you. I'll give it a try when we get back." "Huh, okay." The woman laughed. At this time, Zhao Yun and Mulan were chatting and laughing. They didn't realize that they were being schemed against. Xiao Mao was pulling them away, and they hadn't run far. Suddenly, they bumped into her aunt, Zhao Xinhui. Zhao Xinhui couldn't wait at home, so she ran to Yang City to look for young Master Huang. She didn't expect that although she found young Master Huang, she would end up in such a miserable state. Chapter 1878. If she was really young Master Huang's concubine, it would be fine if she behaved herself. After all, there were many concubines in the residence. However, ever since Zhao Xinhui entered the residence, she had been spoiled and arrogant, going against her every day. As the mistress of the household, she was often angered by Zhao Xinhui. How could she tolerate Zhao Xinhui continuing to cause trouble? Driving Zhao Xinhui back to her hometown was the first step of her plan. Then, she schemed against Zhao Xinhui and framed Zhao Xinhui for having an affair with another man, making young Master Huang a cuckold. The child in Zhao Xinhui's belly was the result of the adulterer's affair. In the face of evidence, young Master Huang naturally believed in it. As a man, what he couldn't stand the most was his woman making him a cuckold. In the future, he wouldn't be able to raise his head in front of his friends. If this kind of thing were to spread, he would lose even more face. Therefore, when Zhao Xinhui came to find him, not only did young Master Huang not allow her to return to the Huang residence, he even had someone beat Zhao Xinhui up. No matter how Zhao Xinhui tried to explain, young Master Huang wouldn't listen. After being taught a lesson, Zhao Xinhui was chased out of the Huang residence. The moment Zhao Xinhui was chased out, she saw the smile of young Master Huang's wife. Unfortunately, she couldn't talk to young Master Huang anymore. When a man doted on you, he could be very doting. He would pour out his heart and lungs for you and would place all the good things in front of you. However, when a man was heartless, it was even scarier. No matter how much you cried, his heart would never soften. After lying in front of the Huang residence for a while, Zhao Xinhui was finally able to get up again. She walked with pain all over her body. Her heart was filled with despair. Looking at the current situation, she wouldn't be able to return to the Huang residence, nor would she be able to enjoy the life there. Now that she was told that she would have to live a hard life in the countryside for the rest of her life, Zhao Xinhui couldn't bear it. It was said that it was easy to go from frugality to extravagance, but difficult to go from extravagance to frugality. Wasn't she in such a situation now? After walking for a while, Zhao Xinhui really couldn't take it anymore. She sat on the ground and cried. His body was already stained with blood. Now that he was sitting on the ground, he looked even dirtier. Zhao Xinhui cried as he wiped his tears. The surrounding people came forward to watch, wondering what had happened. After failing to see Zhao Xinhui, she pointed at Zhao Xinhui and said to Zhao Yuner, "Yuner, isn't that your aunt?" Zhao Yuner took a closer look. It really was her aunt. However, why was Zhao Xinhui in Yang City? Why was he sitting on the ground? Mulan asked in confusion, "Yuner, what's wrong with your aunt? Did someone bully you?" Zhao Yuner frowned. "I don't know." Thinking that she was Zhao Yuner's relative and her aunt, Mulan said worriedly, "Yuner, why don't we go and take a look? Your aunt seems to be injured. She's crying so hard. She's quite pitiful." Zhao Yuner thought for a moment and nodded. However, before the two of them got out of the car, a kind-hearted person came forward and asked Zhao Xinhui, "Miss, what's wrong with you? Are you all right?" Faced with the concern of others, Zhao Xinhui didn't know what was good for her and replied, "What does it have to do with you?" The surrounding people couldn't stand it anymore. They pointed at Zhao Xinhui and said, "Miss, isn't it wrong of you to be like this? He came forward to ask because he was concerned about you. What kind of attitude is this? How can there be someone like you?" Chapter 1879. Zhao Xinhui's bad attitude aroused the disgust of the onlookers. "This is the first time I've met such a person. Good intentions are really not rewarded. Look at the injuries all over her body. I think she deserved it. Someone probably couldn't stand her behavior and gave her a good beating. I think so too. She deserves to be beaten up. It's not too much to beat her to death. Don't go up and pity her just because she's a girl. Some people are just cheap and don't deserve to be pitied." Zhao Xinhui was angered by the discussion around her. She shouted at the top of her voice, "Who are you talking about? Who deserves it? All of you have cheap mouths. Did you not brush your teeth today? Or did you just eat sh*t? Why is it so smelly? Look at this, how can a girl behave like this? I've never seen such a woman before. Today is the first time I've seen such a woman. It's an eye-opener. This kind of cheap woman needs to be taught a lesson before she'll be honest. She actually said that our mouths are smelly and that we ate sh*t. Yes. Teach her a lesson. Let's see if she can still be stubborn." Thus, the onlookers were too angry. They all went up to Zhao Xinhui and prepared to beat her up. Zhao Xinhui shouted at the top of her voice, "What are you doing? What are you doing? You still want to beat me up? Beating a weak woman like me in broad daylight? Aren't you afraid that I'll report you to the yamen and arrest you?" The onlookers were not to be trifled with. When they heard Zhao Xinhui's words, they became even angrier and scolded Zhao Xinhui, "So what if we beat you up? We beat you up. We're getting rid of evil for the people. We're not afraid even if the yamen is reported. Yes, if they want to arrest us, they should arrest us one by one. I don't believe that the county magistrate will punish us and not you, you cheap woman. Women with cheap mouths need to be taught a lesson. We're right to beat her up, not wrong. Why don't we dare to beat her up?" After the onlookers shouted a few words, they all showed their fists. Zhao Xinhui stared at these people with some fear. They were actually so bold to beat her up. Don't hit me, don't hit me. Zhao Xinhui screamed. However, how could they let Zhao Xinhui off the hook so easily after enraging the crowd? They threw punches and kicks at Zhao Xinhui. They didn't care whether men hit women or not. They just wanted to hit the B*TCH Zhao Xinhui. Of course, the woman couldn't stand Zhao Xinhui at all. Just because she was a little beautiful, she acted all high and mighty. She even spoke so harshly. Who did she think she was? Those who had rotten vegetables in their hands threw them at Zhao Xinhui. For a moment, Zhao Xinhui was beaten up very miserably. Zhao Yun'er and Mulan watched from the side and were shocked by the scene in front of them. Although they felt that Zhao Xinhui was beaten up very miserably, it was true that Zhao Xinhui was in the wrong first. Her words weren't human, so it was normal for her to anger people. Mulan frowned and looked at Zhao Yun'er. She asked Zhao Yun'er, "Yun'er, should we go and save your aunt? What if he really dies if he keeps fighting like this?" Zhao Yun'er said indifferently, "Sister-in-law Mulan will inevitably be implicated if we show up now. If we anger the crowd, we'll probably be beaten up together." Mulan's heart trembled when she heard Zhao Yun'er's words. After thinking about it, she felt that Zhao Yun'er's words weren't without reason. Chapter 1880. Zhao Xinhui's pitiful cries spread far and wide. However, even under such circumstances, no one stepped forward to protect Zhao Xinhui. Instead, many people came to join in the fun and shouted with the crowd, "Beat this B*TCH to death! Beat this B*TCH to death!" When Zhao Yun saw this scene, she couldn't help but shake her head. She suddenly thought of a saying, "If you don't seek death, you won't die." Zhao Xinhui was in this state because she had done too much. This was outside, not old Zhao's house. Old Zhao had Hu Chunhua to protect and dote on him at home, but he didn't have that outside. She had to bear the consequences of offending people with her rude words. Suddenly, someone rushed over and pushed the crowd aside. He shouted at the crowd, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Don't you feel embarrassed to bully a girl with so many people?" The person who had come was none other than Qin Yuan. Qin Yuan had been about to go back after selling the pig offal when he suddenly heard Zhao Xinhui's cries and came over. He didn't expect to see Zhao Xinhui being bullied. When he saw the wounds on Zhao Xinhui's body, which were still stained with blood, Qin Yuan's heart ached terribly. These people were too much. How could they injure her to this extent? Qin Yuan's eyes turned red and he had the urge to kill someone. He hurriedly pulled Zhao Xinhui into his arms and protected her tightly. This way, even if the other people's fists and feet came over, they would hit him instead of Zhao Xinhui. The onlookers said indignantly, "What's wrong with hitting her? She deserves to be taught a lesson. I've never seen a woman with such a cheap mouth. We're getting rid of an evil for the people. Everyone, do you think I deserve to be hit?" A group of people behind him echoed, "She deserves to be hit. That B*TCH deserves to be hit to death. Did you hear that? Everyone says she deserves to be hit. Then it's her problem alone." Qin Yuan could not vent his anger. Weren't these people a little too much? They had already beaten her to this extent, yet they still said such things. "You're not allowed to fight anymore. If anyone dares to fight again, I'll chop them up with a knife." Qin Yuan's harsh words shocked the onlookers. It was said that the upright feared the unreasonable, and the unreasonable feared those who didn't care about their lives. Now that Qin Yuan was in such a desperate situation, none of them dared to continue provoking them. He thought that Zhao Xinhui had already beaten him enough. If he continued to beat him, he might even kill him. If the government investigated, it would definitely be troublesome. Why don't we just let it go now? It's fine as long as we're out. There's no need to continue harping on it. Thus, the crowd dispersed in an uproar. "Let's go, let's go. We've seen enough of the show and taken care of that B***tch. Yeah, let's go. There's nothing to see here. Although Qin Yuan still wanted to pursue the matter, there was nothing they could do. They could only let these people go. At this moment, he was most worried about Zhao Xinhui in his arms. His nose was filled with the smell of Zhao Xinhui's blood. Qin Yuan's expression suddenly became extremely serious. "Auntie, are you okay? How are you now?" Qin Yuan asked the person in his arms gently. Zhao Xinhui was already feeling aggrieved. Now, she hugged Qin Yuan and cried. "Woo, it hurts so much. I thought I was going to be beaten to death by these people. They're too much. There were so many of them, but they only bullied me." Zhao Xinhui poured out her grievances. Chapter 1881. Qin Yuan couldn't help but tremble when Zhao Xinhui hugged him tightly. In the past, he really wanted to be intimate with Zhao Xinhui, but he never had the chance. All this time, he could only silently fantasize about hugging Zhao Xinhui like this. He didn't expect that it would really come true today. Zhao Xinhui hugged him tightly. Her face was still pressed against his chest. Qin Yuan felt his heart pounding, much faster than usual. His throat suddenly dried up. Qin Yuan said in a hoarse voice, "Okay, Auntie, don't be afraid. With me around, no one can bully you. I'll protect you well." At this moment, Qin Yuan's male chauvinism exploded. He wanted to protect the woman in his arms and not let anyone bully her. This was a feeling that she had never felt before. Zhao Xinhui continued to whimper. She didn't want to let go of Qin Yuan's hand. "Qin Yuan, thank you for coming to save me. Auntie, it's my duty. Don't stand on ceremony with me. I'm more than happy to do this kind of thing." Qin Yuan replied nervously. He felt very happy. Although he was heartbroken that Zhao Xinhui had been beaten up, if no one had beaten Zhao Xinhui up, he wouldn't have had the chance to be a hero and save the damsel in distress. He also wouldn't have been able to hug Zhao Xinhui like this. To him, this was a chance to get closer to Zhao Xinhui. Zhao Xinhui responded. She didn't know if it was because of the trauma she had suffered, but after Qin Yuan saved her, she felt that she had developed some dependence on Qin Yuan. Actually, she had always thought that Qin Yuan was a good person. It was just that he was too poor, so she didn't take a liking to him back then. Now that young Master Huang didn't want her anymore, it wouldn't be easy for her to find a good man. However, she couldn't spend the rest of her life alone either. After being separated from young Master Huang for a while, she still wanted to do that thing in bed. With every man by her side, wouldn't her future happiness be ruined? Therefore, she had to find another man to marry. Since she couldn't find someone with better conditions, she might as well find someone who dotes on her. She could tell that Qin Yuan liked her very much and wanted to be with her even more. The Qin Yuan had no money, but she did save some money from young Master Huang. With this money, her life with the Qin Yuan wouldn't be too bad. The two of them could open a shop and start a small business. They wouldn't have to live in poverty for the rest of their lives. After thinking about this, Zhao Xinhui decided to be together with Qin Yuan. Therefore, she asked in a gentle voice, "Qin Yuan, you said that you would take care of me for the rest of your life. Is that true?" Qin Yuan choked with sobs and was completely dumbfounded. What did little aunt mean by that? Did she really intend to be with him? He couldn't be so lucky, right? Seeing that Qin Yuan didn't say anything, Zhao Xinhui pursed her lips and said, "So you were just saying it casually. It seems that I was thinking too much." Qin Yuan came back to his senses and hurriedly said, No, little aunt, that's not what I meant. I was too happy just now, so I didn't reply to your question." "Then tell me now, is what you said true or false?" "Of course it's true. Little aunt, the heavens and earth can bear witness to my sincerity towards you. You mustn't doubt me." Of course I don't doubt you, but you have to remember what you said today. Chapter 1882. He wondered if he was dreaming at this moment. The things that he had always hoped for had never come true. How did it come true today? Only in a dream would this be possible. You. How can you do this? After Zhao Ping and Ma Xiaofeng rushed over, they saw the scene of Qin Yuan and Zhao Xinhui hugging each other. Zhao Ping stared at them until she almost went crazy with jealousy. Qin Yuan was her husband, her man. How could he hug Zhao Xinhui like this? Qin Yuan and Zhao Xinhui both ignored Zhao Ping. Zhao Ping could not take it anymore and continued to clamor. Zhao Xinhui, you be *tch. How can you seduce my husband? Big brother Yuan is mine. Hurry and let go of him. Zhao Ping was about to rush over and push Zhao Xinhui away from Qin Yuan's embrace. However, before Zhao Ping could get close to Zhao Xinhui, she was stopped by Qin Yuan. Qin Yuan reprimanded Zhao Xinhui. Zhao Ping, what are you doing? You be *tch. Aren't you a little too vicious? You actually want to hurt your aunt. Zhao Ping was frightened by Qin Yuan's murderous gaze. Her original actions also stopped instantly. Zhao Ping looked at Qin Yuan pitifully and said, Big brother Yuan. How can you do this to me? You actually yelled at me for little aunt. You even hugged little aunt like this. You've never treated me like this before. The more Zhao Ping spoke, the more her heart ached. Tears streamed down her face. Qin Yuan said with a cold face, You jealous be *tch. Can't you see that your aunt isn't injured? How can you be so calculative with your aunt? After Qin Yuan said that, Zhao Ping then saw the injuries on Zhao Xinhui's body. It was probably quite serious. Zhao Xinhui's clothes were stained with blood, and her arms were bruised. However, Zhao Ping did not feel sorry for Zhao Xinhui at all. Instead, she was gloating in her heart. Even if her aunt, this be *tch, was beaten to death, it would not be too much. Zhao Xinhui glanced at Zhao Ping indifferently. Her lips curled into a cold smile. Then, her slender hands to Qin Yuan's neck. Qin Yuan hurriedly comforted her, Auntie, bear with it. I'll take you to the doctor and let the doctor treat your wounds. You'll be fine. Zhao Xinhui replied weakly, Okay. Her voice made the man's heart ache even more. He wanted to protect her. Qin Yuan carried Zhao Xinhui in a princess carry. Zhao Ping followed Qin Yuan angrily. Her face was full of undisguised jealousy. However, after being reprimanded by Qin Yuan, she did not dare to make a fuss again. Zhao Yun was stunned by the scene in front of her. Now, it seemed that her aunt was going to get involved with Qin Yuan. Thinking about it, that be *tch Zhao Ping was pitiful. Although she had finally gotten married, she did not marry a man who liked her. Who knew if there would be more trouble in the future? Of course, all of this had nothing to do with her. She did not care whether Zhao Ping was dead or alive. In her heart, Zhao Ping was not a member of her family. After the few people left, Mulan opened her mouth. Yun, what's going on? It's what you saw. Zhao Yun replied with a smile. Chapter 1883. In ancient times, some concepts were still more traditional. For example, Zhao Xinhui and Qin Yuan were one generation apart, so it was naturally impossible for them to be together. If they were really together, people would inevitably say that they were incestuous. At that time, who knew what kind of gossip would come out? Zhao Yun shrugged and replied helplessly, I don't know about that. This is their business, so I can't ask. Mulan sighed and nodded in agreement. Zhao Yun was right. How could Zhao Yun meddle in the affairs between her brother-in-law and sister-in-law? There were weirdos every year, but this year's weirdo happened to be Zhao Yun's relative. After the two of them finished watching the show, they didn't stay any longer and drove Xiao Mao to Shuilan village. Xiao Mao, who only came out for a walk once in a long time, was unusually cheerful this time, as if it wanted to fly. Even Zhao Yun couldn't stop it. Along the way, Zhao Yun and Mulan's butts hurt from the bumpy ride, but they couldn't do anything about it. Zhao Yun wondered if she should add a soft cushion to the donkey cart when they returned. This way, no matter how hard Xiao Mao ran, it wouldn't be too bumpy when they sat on the donkey cart. After finally returning to Shuilan village, Zhao Yun and Mulan hurriedly got off the cart and rubbed their butts as they walked. Zhao Yun and Mulan prepared to walk the rest of the way slowly. The mountain road to her house and Mulan's house wasn't very smooth. If Xiao Mao pulled two people, it would probably be very difficult. The two of them simply got off the cart and walked on their own. If Xiao Mao couldn't pull them, they could give it a push from behind. Not long after, they bumped into Madame Qi, who was returning from chopping wood on the mountain. She didn't know if it was because she had been working hard these days, but Madame Qi's skin was yellow and she had lost a lot of weight. When Madame Qi saw Mulan's complexion, she realized that Mulan had become rounder and looked much better than before. She felt a little uncomfortable in her heart. Madame Qi caught a glimpse of the bamboo leaves and glutinous rice on Zhao Yun's donkey cart and said in a jealous tone, "Oh, second sister-in-law, are you preparing to make dumplings?" "Well, it's just for the Dragon Boat Festival. Didn't our family often eat it before? I used to eat white rice dumplings the most. Look at these things you bought. They're quite sumptuous. Sigh, unlike us this year, I'm afraid we won't even be able to eat rice dumplings." Mulan was momentarily at a loss for words. She didn't know how to respond to the Qi family. What's wrong with making slightly better dumplings? Wasn't it just adding more dates? In the past, his family was poor and could not afford to eat. At most, he could only eat white rice dumplings. But which child didn't want to eat sweet date rice dumplings? Now that he had some money and could afford it, he naturally had to satisfy the children. After all, they didn't eat it often, so it wasn't a waste. Following Zhao Yun, Mulan had learned many things, and one of them was to live an exquisite life. Zhao Yun couldn't help but roll her eyes at Madame Qi. "Yes, it's because you eat well. Who asked you to be poor? Serves you right for not being able to afford it." Madame Qi's face instantly turned red and she glared at Zhao Yun angrily. "What are you saying? Are you deaf or did you not hear me? What's the use of being jealous of others? If you want to eat well, then work hard to earn money to buy it." Zhao Yun said lightly and continued to ridicule. Chapter 1884. Madame Qi gritted her teeth and secretly scolded Zhao Yun for being a slut. Zhao Yun restrained the smile on her lips. It felt good to scold a slut. Seeing Madame Qi angry but unable to say anything, it really made people want to laugh. Madame Qi put away the displeasure on her face. Although she felt uncomfortable, she still swallowed her anger. Mulan smiled and said, "Sister-in-law, Yun is right. As long as you work hard and earn money, you can buy whatever you want to eat." Madame Qi pursed her lips and said with a bitter face, "Hee, I think it's better to forget it. I don't have such a good life. How can it be so easy to earn money, unlike second sister-in-law who follows behind Zhao Yun?" "You're wrong. Sister-in-law Mulan can earn money by following me. Didn't I find ways to earn it myself? But what you said seems to be right. Not everyone's hard work will be rewarded. Some people are just stupid and can't think of ways to earn money. What's the use of hard work?" Madame Qi frowned and digested Zhao Yun's words. After a while, she reacted. This slut was actually calling her stupid. "Zhao Yun, who are you scolding? Did I mention names and scold anyone? Family Zhu, sister-in-law, why are you so agitated? Don't tell me you admit that you're stupid?" Zhao Yun asked with a faint smile. Madame Qi felt that she had been tricked by Zhao Yun'er. Sure enough, she couldn't win against Zhao Yun'er. This woman was too scheming. If she wasn't careful, it was easy to be tricked. Sister-in-law, if there's nothing else, we'll leave first. Mulan didn't want to continue arguing with Madame Qi and cause any unpleasant things. She was very clear about her sister-in-law's temperament. She liked to haggle over every little thing and liked to cause trouble. Qi sure was not reconciled and continued to say to Mulan, second sister-in-law, I don't have a purse for white rice dumplings at home this year. You should send some dumplings to our mother later, right? An old man like him should at least eat a little. Otherwise, you're being unfilial. Even if we split up, mother still gave birth to second brother and raised him. You can't forget that. Madame Qi's words sounded reasonable. In ancient times, filial piety was the most important thing. If one ignored both the son and the mother, one would be criticized. Although Mrs. Zhu's previous behavior was a bit excessive, she was still Zhu Eru's mother. Unless she did something extremely excessive and caused everyone's dissatisfaction, there would be some gossip. Mulan thought for a moment and replied, got it. Only then did Madame Qi leave with satisfaction. She thought that she could eat some of the zongzi that Mulan sent to Mrs. Zhu later. At the thought of the sweet taste of the sweet date zongzi, Madame Qi couldn't help but swallow her saliva. She couldn't wait for Mulan to immediately wrap them up and send them to her. However, Mulan also had a little idea. She could send them, but no one could dictate what kind of zongzi she should send or how many zongzi she should send. As long as she sent some zongzi over, she could shut people up. Later, she would directly send 5 white rice dumplings. Including Madame Qi's children, it was estimated that Madame Qi wouldn't be able to eat them. With Mrs. Zhu's temperament, at most, she would give one to Zhu Dainiu and the rest to herself and Zhu Sanlu. How could Madame Qi get any? Seeing Mulan's straightforward answer, Zhao Yun knew that Mulan must have her own calculations and plans. Now that Mulan was with her, she had more and more ideas. Chapter 1885. Zhao Yun shrugged and replied, it's fine. Mulan's lips curled into a bitter smile. Although there were still some people who were sick of family Zhu, their family's life had become better ever since they moved out of family Zhu's house. Now that there was no family Zhu's nagging, the house was much quieter. After Zhao Yun and Mulan returned home, they soaked the bamboo leaves and glutinous rice in water. The bamboo leaves had to be washed gently with a brush. As for the glutinous rice, it had to be soaked for a period of time before the zongzi would taste good. Using this time, Zhao Yun also took out some bacon from home and cut it into small pieces. When the time came, she just had to put a piece into each zongzi. This was her favorite, the bacon zongzi. Other than that, she also made some candied dates and mung beans. Because it was almost the Dragon Boat Festival, old Madame Liang was in a good mood. Although her legs were a little inconvenient now, she knew how to do these small chores. Wrapping zongzi was old Madame Liang's specialty. For so many years, every year when the Liang family celebrated the Dragon Boat Festival, they would eat zongzi through old Madame Liang's handbag. After coming to Zhao Yun's house, old Madame Liang's daily life was well taken care of by Zhao Yun's family. There were many chores that old Madame Liang didn't have the chance to do even if she wanted to. Now that she finally had a chance to be useful, old Madame Liang was eager to give it a try. Eldest girl, I have to make a few zongzi today. Don't stop me. This isn't hard work. I can do tiring work. Old Madame Liang said with a straight face. It seemed that if Liang Jinxiao refused, old Madame Liang would get angry with her. Liang Jinxiao smiled helplessly and said, okay, mother. Let's make these zongzi as a family. Old Madame Liang nodded in satisfaction. That's more like it. At noon, the whole family had a simple meal. The food was not bad. Zhao Yun'er made streaky pork. The whole family ate one more bowl of rice than usual. Zhao Tianan didn't know if it was because he was growing, so he liked to eat oil. He directly poured the oil from the bottom of the pork-bellied bowl into the bowl, mixed it into the rice, and then ate it with relish. Zhao Yun'er was used to living in the 21st century. She preferred to eat rapeseed oil rather than animal oil. Eating too much animal oil could easily lead to high blood lipids. In the eyes of modern people, it was better to eat less. But for the ancient people, they didn't consume much oil and water on a daily basis, and they did very tiring work every day. If they didn't eat some animal oil, they wouldn't seem very energetic. Zhao Wenhua also liked to eat animal fat, but she gave the fat in the pork belly bowl to Zhao Tianan. After the meal, the glutinous rice was almost done soaking. It was time to prepare the dumplings. At this time, someone came to Zhao Yun'er's house. Third sister-in-law, are you at home? It was Zhao Yun'er's uncle, Zhao Ping, who was a few generations away. Liang Jinxiao hurriedly responded, yes. Liang Jinxiao said and went out of the house. Zhao Yun'er followed him out. What's wrong? Liang Jinxiao asked, thinking that Zhao Ping came to see him for something. Zhao Ping explained, third sister-in-law, last time you told me that you wanted to raise a cat. My cat gave birth to a litter of kittens more than half a month ago. Now I caught one for you. Zhao Ping said and handed the kitten in his hand to Liang Jinxiao. Chapter 1886. It looked very small and pitiful. Liang Jinxiao stared at the kitten in Zhao Ping's hand, then took it. Uncle Yun'er, isn't your kitten a little too small? Why don't you keep it at home for a while before sending it to me? Liang Jinxiao asked worriedly. Zhao Ping sighed and said, I'm just afraid that I won't be able to keep it alive even if I bring it home. Liang Jinxiao asked in confusion, why is that? Why can't you keep it alive? Zhao Ping then explained, my cats have a lot of litters. There are 7 or 8 kittens. Unfortunately, there's not enough milk, so each kitten can't eat their fill. The kitten I picked for you is the fattest one. The other kittens are even skinnier. If you feed it some soup from time to time, it'll probably be able to keep it alive. Hearing Zhao Ping's words, Liang Jinxiao finally understood. She muttered, so that's how it is. Then I'll keep it. Staring at the thin and small kitten, Liang Jinxiao sighed and said, it looks really pitiful. It's so cute. It's a pity that it's dead. Although it was just an animal, it was still alive after all. When Zhao Yun'er saw the thin and small kitten, she hurriedly went up to Liang Jinxiao and said to Liang Jinxiao, Mother, let me hold it. Liang Jinxiao nodded and stuffed the kitten into Zhao Yun'er's hands. Yun'er, slow down. Don't drop it. Zhao Yun'er answered solemnly, Mother, I know. Zhao Yun'er's hand gently stroked the kitten's head a few times. The kitten burrowed into Zhao Yun'er's palm, and a ticklish feeling spread all over its body. However, its soft and smooth body made people want to play with it a few more times. It was so cute. It was just that it was a little small, so he had to be very careful when holding it in his hands, afraid that he would drop it. Uncle Zhao, thank you. Zhao Yun thanked Zhao Ping while stroking the kitten. Zhao Ping smiled. Why are you being so polite? If your family didn't want them, I would still be worried about how to give these kittens away. He couldn't just throw them away, could he? After all, it's a life. Zhao Yun'er agreed with this point. Uncle Zhao, why don't you come to my house and have a rest and drink a glass of water? Zhao Yun'er greeted him warmly. Zhao Ping hurriedly waved his hand and refused, No, you still have work to do. Liang Jinxiao said, other than making some dumplings in the afternoon, we don't have much to do. By the way, Uncle Yun'er, have you made dumplings at home? Zhao Ping scratched his head and replied shyly, I'm a man. How would I know how to do those things? Liang Jinxiao thought about it and agreed. Zhao Ping hadn't married yet. Without a woman at home, there were many things that he couldn't do. A man couldn't possibly do all the women's work. That's true, Uncle Yun, You've had a hard time living alone all these years. Zhao Ping smiled foolishly again. It's okay. I'll get used to it. Uncle Zhao, it's okay if you don't know how to make dumplings. I'll send some to you later. Have a taste. I have a lot of dumplings at home this time. Zhao Ping was a little embarrassed and hurriedly waved his hand to refuse. No, forget it. It's so embarrassing. It's not easy for you to make dumplings. There are so many people at home. How can you give them to me? Chapter 1887. This. Zhao Ping was still struggling. Zhao Yun said, Uncle Zhao, your cat is not free. What's wrong with eating some dumplings? Otherwise, I'll feel bad. After being persuaded by Zhao Yun, and her mother, Zhao Ping smiled embarrassedly and said, okay. I'll try it then. Okay. After sending the kitten over, Zhao Ping didn't stay any longer. He turned and left Zhao Yun's yard. After seeing Zhao Ping leave, Liang Jinxiao couldn't help but sigh and say, Yun, your Uncle Zhao is actually quite a nice person. Zhao Yun agreed and said, yes. Compared to old Zhao's uncles, Zhao Ping was definitely very nice. He's such a nice person, but he hasn't married yet. It's not easy for a man to live like this. Not to mention other things, if he marries a woman, she can at least cook for him and wash his clothes. He doesn't need to do these chores. Zhao Yun thought about it. It was because this era was the same as the 21st century. For people who were too poor, it was very difficult to even get a wife. Sometimes, men were really nice. It was because of these external material conditions that they were bound, so they were always single. Mother, why don't you help to ask around? If there's a suitable person, you can introduce Uncle Zhao to her. Zhao Yun winked at Liang Jinxiao and asked. Liang Jinxiao smiled bitterly and said, hey, it's easier said than done. Which young girl is willing to marry your Uncle Zhao? The age gap is there. Mother, who said that it has to be a young girl? Can't you ask me to look at those divorced women or widows? Isn't that equivalent to a second marriage? In the countryside, it's counted. Who said that a woman can't marry a second time? If she meets the right person, she can marry again. As long as the man is good to her and she has a good life, why think so much? Liang Jinxiao was silent for a while and said, okay, I'll ask someone later. If they really met someone suitable, it would be best if they could get together and live together. It's not easy for your Uncle Zhao to be alone. Now that he's getting older, it's better to have a companion. Yes. After the mother and daughter finished talking about this matter, they started to care about the kitten. Looking at that skinny kitten, she had to give it more food. Otherwise, it might not be able to grow up. Unfortunately, the half-month-old kitten's teeth probably hadn't grown out yet, so it couldn't eat those hard things. Zhao Yun'er pondered for a moment, then went to the kitchen and made some rice soup. Zhao Yun'er thought that the salty rice soup was too plain, so she added some leftover meat broth from lunch into the rice soup. Then, he took a small bowl and brought it to the kitten. The kitten seemed to have smelled something. It dragged its thin body to the front of the bowl and began to drink the rice soup in the bowl. Perhaps it was because it was too hungry, the kitten ate very happily and hurriedly. Seeing this situation, Zhao Yun'er's heart ached even more. Speaking of which, these pets in ancient times were not as good as in the 21st century. Those cats and dogs in the 21st century could be treated like ancestors, and they would even buy cat food and dog food. Chapter 1888. However, Zhao Ping's female cat was pregnant. After giving birth to kittens, she had to take care of the kittens. How could she have so much time to go out and look for food? Without enough nutrition during pregnancy, there was naturally not much milk. In addition, there were many kittens in one litter, so there was even less milk for each kitten. As a result, these kittens did not have enough milk and were all very skinny. Eat slowly, eat slowly. No one is fighting with you. Zhao Yun did not care if the kitten understood or not. She gently stroked the kitten's head with her finger. It's probably too hungry. Liang Jinxiao said. Yes. We have to feed it on time every day. Let it eat until it's full. I hope it can survive. Yes. When it's a little older, it can eat food. Then it'll be easier to raise it. The mother and daughter stared at the kitten. Zhao Yun was afraid that it would eat too much and die. Seeing that it was enough, she hurriedly took the bowl away. The kitten looked as if it had not had enough and kept licking its mouth with its tongue. It's so pitiful. Zhao Yun held it in her hands and stroked it. At this time, Daodu and Zhao Tianfu came back from playing outside. Together with them was Xiao He, who had gone out to play with the two children. Xiao He had a garland in its mouth. It was probably made by Daodu or Zhao Tianfu. As soon as he saw the kitten in Zhao Yun's hands, Daodu immediately came over. Mother, what is this? A kitten? Yes, it is. Mother, this kitten is really, really small. Of course. Zhao Yun replied. The kitten is only half a month old. It will take a few months to grow up. Daodu nodded as if he understood. Then, he looked at Zhao Yun pleadingly. Mother, can Daodu hold it for a while? Yes, but you have to be careful. Don't drop it. Mother, Daodu will definitely be careful. As he spoke, Daodu carefully took the kitten from Zhao Yun's hands and stroked the kitten's head a few times. The kitten rubbed its head against Lil P's small hand after a few times. Daodu pointed at the kitten in surprise. Mother, it's moving. Zhao Yun'er didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He's alive, of course he can move. Do you think he's a toy? Daodu's little face was filled with a pure smile. I thought it was asleep. Its eyes are closed. Zhao Yun'er explained patiently, he's not forcing himself because he's asleep, but because he can't open his eyes now. After a while, he'll naturally open his eyes. Daodu asked in surprise, Mother, is that true? Yes, Daodu was like this when he was young too. When he was born, he couldn't open his eyes either. He only opened them later. Daodu's eyes turned and he sighed. Mother, Daodu doesn't remember any of this. Of course he didn't remember. How could such a young child have any memory? Daodu stared at the kitten in his hands for a while, then asked Zhao Yun'er, Mother, should we give the kitten a name too? Even Blackie has a name. We should give the kitten one too. You're tuning into the Biyao's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.